data teach.ai, our community partners, that live outreach partner, Ground Zero, Braino Vision Solutions, Draper U, and Startup TV and Reels on Go as our media partner. Thank you all for being part of this. To formally open the proceedings, I would like to invite Mr. Naidu Garu to help us understand the vision behind TG10X and what today is really about. And I would like, please welcome him onto the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Is it good enough, loud enough? Okay. So I just give a brief overview. I think by this time, more than 20,000 plus people are aware about TG10X, at least as Instagram followers. But I'll just give what happened, why did we start this whole initiative, what made us to think about it, right? Exactly a year ago, somewhere in the last 2025, April 2025, there was one LinkedIn post which came in the LinkedIn saying that there is no ecosystem at all in Hyderabad. There is no startup ecosystem. Everything a startup founder frustration was expressed on LinkedIn very, very badly possible. Right? I understand. What I saw there was not the negative side. I saw the frustration of a startup founder who is not getting the help in a timely manner. It is very, very difficult, right, for anybody, right? Because he had a social media platform, he basically expressed his unhappiness on social media. What happens when somebody talk about a negative thing? More negative comments will come. So more people are joining. Yes, you are right. Nothing is happening. There is nothing happening. Nobody is there to support. So all of that. Then I look back when I started as a founder in 2009 versus 2025. Which is almost 17 years before I was an entrepreneur in Hyderabad ecosystem. I am one of the oldest entrepreneurs from Hyderabad system. I started a platform called meraevents.com, which is in 2009, which powered close to 2 lakh events across India. 3 million people used our platform, and 100 crores worth of ticketing business happened every year. In spite of that, there was not even a single ecosystem. I'm talking about, forget about 2025, 2020, 2008, 2009, there was no word of startup at all. And there was no support. But we came long way, and there is so many people are helping you, there is so much of ecosystem, but we said it's still not good enough. That means there is still unhappiness, there is still, so much of frustration about startups. That means there is not good enough. The only way to overcome this is by doing something better than what we can do, right? There's no point of cribbing about it. And that is one of my statement to an entrepreneur is that an entrepreneur is the one who will never crib about the problem, who will find an opportunity in the problem. That is my definition of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is one who will find an opportunity in the problem. Now I saw exactly there is a frustration of one entrepreneur. More people are joining the bandwagon saying that yes, you are right, there is no better ecosystem. What is the best way? Now I see that is not a problem. I see an opportunity to convert thousands of entrepreneurs, thousands of people to an entrepreneur's opportunity by creating an ecosystem. That is the idea of TG10X. Why TG10X? Basically, we wanted to do this across Telangana right now. We wanted to be local feeling, so we created Telangana, TG. 10X is basically we wanted to amplify this ecosystem wherever we are today, at least by 10X. That's why we created a TG10X. And you will not believe, on the day one when we got the idea, I have swiped my credit card for 2 lakh rupees. You know what, for what? Anybody can guess? I swiped my credit card on the day one when an idea came. For 2 lakh rupees I have spent. Anybody can guess? All the domains across India I have blocked on that day. TG10X, KA10X, AP10X. All the 29 states I have blocked the domains with .com as well as .in. Because I know it is going to be creating one day history, so I need to rather book it today. The next 2 lakh rupees I spent not on anything else, the brand. the logo. Now when you see this logo, there is a vibration. It is not done by AI, it is not done by just randomly. A professional who normally charges a 5 lakh rupees for a logo, he is the one who charged for me and half the rate, and I paid him another 2 lakh rupees to just to design this logo. Right? The third thing I've done was, this has to be run by completely a voluntary network, and then without me or without anybody else, this has to run. We have approached 5 top advisors for this activity, the most top. Yeah. So we have approached the best founders or the best mentors as advisors for this activity. So the first one I approached is Fani Sama, the founder of Redbus. Srini Kolipara, who is the founder of T-Hub. And Sanjay Jashrani, one of the veteran in the ecosystem. And Satish Andhra, and then one more from the Women Entrepreneurship, Vishala. So 5 top advisors on the day one we have appointed, saying that, hey, this is our mission, just we have an idea, this is what we wanted to make a difference to the ecosystem, and that is how this started. And then before that, I made one post on LinkedIn, still it is, you can see, that one post just to say that we would like to unite the entire startup ecosystem under one umbrella. And that is what that time I don't think even we had a name called TG10X. I just made one LinkedIn post. You can go back and check it out somewhere in the April last of my LinkedIn post. I said we want to unite one startup ecosystem for under Telangana. That one LinkedIn post went to 70,000 views, 500 comments on the day one when we did that. That is where I got the feeling that yes, there is a real demand, there is a real need. Why am I telling all of that is, when you get an idea also, you need to validate your idea even before going it to the market. That is the most important thing. So I got the idea, I understood and I saw the problem. That problem I see an opportunity. I converted that opportunity with the market validation by posting in LinkedIn. 70,000 people viewed it or wanted, and 500 comments came saying that yes, we need an ecosystem. Then using the AI, and the third thing what helped me a lot was the AI capabilities. If their AI capabilities would have been not there, I don't think I would have started this. The half of the credit I would give it to AI, because any knowledge or any new technology, you could use it for the power of betterment or the negative side. I have used the most AI entirely in the last 2 years, using the AI, the content creation, the image creations, the mobile application creation, technology creation. I don't think, I've spent probably $10,000 only on the AI credits in the last 1 year. $10,000 only on the AI credits, right? Because you can use the power of AI. Now, it's like 10 employees you are hiring it. So we have used all of that, the journey came, and the rest all majoritarily. And while we are doing itself on the day one, we decided that any online ecosystem will not run for a long run. Any community, any online system will not run long run. You need a strong, powerful offline ecosystem also. So that is where I thought, because I walk every day 6 to 7 a.m. in the KBR Park and the Botanical Garden, every day for the last 2 years. Then I was walking alone. Why should I walk alone and I can share while walking my knowledge with somebody else? Same thing, probably so many knowledgeable people, so many people need some help. Why not while we are walking, why can't we discuss about the entrepreneurship or the business and help somebody else? That is how the concept came out about the Botanical Garden walks happened. And for that also we created a very different program called Millionaire by Health. Why we have chosen Millionaire by Health is also, in running a startup you need a lot of physical and mental fitness. A lot of people don't understand. It is so much of toll to your body, your mind, and it is very difficult to run a startup. Unless you are very fit, unless you are very mentally strong, you can't run a startup. So you need good health to run a good startup. Lot of people, everybody will make money eventually and they realize it. Why did I do all of this without a good health? They might have made tons of money and that money they are spending for their health, end of the day. So we said, why not we change that perception, and we coined that term as Millionaire by Health. The word is very, very powerful. When somebody says millionaire, everybody think that I have $1 million bank balance is there or not. Right? That's what everybody remembers. But we thought, why not, when a body of such millions of dollars money is already here, we are not even taking the basic servicing for that body. And when you are running a startup, even more risky, more trouble, more challenging. And there so many stories we are hearing. A startup founder died at 40 years at a heart attack, that and this. Because they are not, while you are running the company, you need a lot of physical and mental strain. So that is where we combine the Millionaire by Health walks in the parks and the TG10X, which is an online ecosystem, and with an offline ecosystem. We have started this on May 10th, 2025. And initially we used to get 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. That's it. And we did not had, I did not even had an account on Instagram. I don't know how to use Instagram, or I was not even, don't know how to post one post in Instagram. Then how did we learn? We started this, continued the journey, and then people coming more and more, and there, we were only doing marketing on LinkedIn only. We were not doing in the, sorry. So, okay. So basically that's what we were doing, and that's where we started this entire concept on May 10th, 2025. We have successfully completed almost 56 weeks and continuously every Sunday and every Saturday, every week for the last 1 year. Every Saturday and Sunday. Whether there are 5 people coming or 500 people coming, it doesn't matter for us. The consistency is what brought us here. That is another lesson we need to learn. If you are building a company, you might have 1 user or 100 users, but doing that on a consistent basis every day till you succeed is what is the commitment what we have to do for any business. So that is what we have shown once again for the last 1 year. And one user came, he knows how to make videos. He make a small video about TG10X and posted on Instagram. And that video went to 2.5 million views in the day, in that 1-2 days. 2.5 million views of that video, which is done by maybe one of the student or one of the participant. I don't know even how to do video, but that video changed the game. Then we created the Instagram page, and then today we have almost 22,000 followers. And every post we make, it's around 25,000 to 50,000 to a lakh views coming. And people are, I think 90% of the people came now because of Instagram. So the power of marketing, right? I understood, I learned more than I given. I say now I learned so many things in the last 1 year. How to run a non-profit organization, how to run purely 100% by volunteers. We don't have a single 1% full-time entrepreneur also, or one person also not a full-time here. Everything 100% run by volunteers and 100% non-profit organization, right? And consistently doing with or without any one single person. So that is, I think, really what I learned more than anybody else. And I learned mostly about Instagram, about the marketing, and I met so many wonderful people and so many there are so many people are ready to give value to so many things, like, Hitesh is here, and Hansika, there are so many people. Everything is run by volunteers, completely run by volunteers. We have more than 100 plus volunteers supported that. You would be seeing lot more people run by volunteers. So this is briefly the story of the TG10X. Now this today primer thing is, how can we, okay, we have done a great job. We have created multiple personas. We have so much of help. Every week walking is happening. We started bringing special speakers. Today the Neiman's founder, whom I know 2008, he started as a first shoe company. Today he is doing a 250 crore business. So I brought him as a speaker there into the event. So they interact while they're walking, they talk about the business. So this is what we have been doing. Now what our focus for today event is, how can the next future is for the students, the next entrepreneurs, right? So if we can able to help them, tap them, support them, the India is going to be massive at a very large scale. But they need guidance, they need support. They should not ever felt that helplessness, that nobody is there for me to support, nobody is there for me to talk. That is the reason why we wanted to launch today the campus.tg10x.com, basically to unite all the students across Telangana under one umbrella, once again free of cost. On top of it, that campus people can connect to a 5,000 members startup ecosystem, so that they can learn, they can get a job, or they can learn either one of that, or they can become entrepreneurs and they can get customers. So that is the objective we are trying to do, which is called campus.tg10x.com. That is the objective for today. And really appreciate all of you on a Sunday morning coming here and then showing up. That is a commitment, and kudos to all of you. Thank you so much on that. And one last announcement I'm doing is next week, same place, we are launching one more initiative called TG10X Funding and Pitching Event. There are mainly two things or three things needed for a startup. One is mentoring, one is customers or users, the third one is funding. So we have already solved the problem of getting the customers, getting the users, getting the marketing out. For example, these kids came like multiple times. Now, when they had, I think, 40 followers, I'm sure there are 200 followers now. They are now known to at least 5,000 members right now, at least various levels, right? So as soon as they see, they can get. Like that, we have started giving the branding, visibility to the companies and talking in front of 200 users about your product, guidance. That is one thing we already solved, or we will continue to solve forever, right? Second problem is mentoring. So if somebody comes in, we are kind of asking them to walk with us, we are giving them mentoring. But the third most, another important fuel and important thing is the funding. So what we are trying to do now is, we wanted to give the opportunity to invite, maybe next week, Sunday morning, Sunday after, Saturday evening, you would see 150 or 200 investors, curated investors in the same room, where they will be listening 4 startups and at least ready to write a check of $1 crore between all of those investors. That's the objective. So we are trying to solve one monthly funding event every month, irrespective of it. See, today, such a big city like Hyderabad, so much of ecosystem enablers, we don't have one funding event happening in Hyderabad every month. So we wanted to solve that problem once again with the TG10X funding and pitching event every 4th Saturday, every month for the next 12 months. At least every month, one startup should get the funding, right? The eligibility criteria, whether you are a fundable business, all will come based on the decision of the guys who are making the money. But we would like to create that opportunity and make that happen. So that is something we are also working on it right now and taking it forward. So these are some of the initiatives. And the great thing is, you can go and check it out, the TG10X app, or for the students for campus.tg10x. You will not believe that entire app was 100% white coded within a week. What 5,000 people are using today, 100% white coding and done by one person, right? So the reason why I'm telling is, there are certain jobs are going away, but certain more opportunities are coming. How you utilize is what is important. So for example, the poster what you see, is it done by human? 100% by AI. Right? Everything is happening nowadays 100% by AI. The entire TG10X app, what you see, whether it's Android, iOS or web application, 100% AI. I don't know even a single line of coding, but I was able to deliver in 1 week or 7 days. Right? And any feature you wanted, I can show in next 10 minutes, okay, I need this feature. If 10 people say show up, I need this feature, I can make it ready in 30 minutes ready and show it to live, go live. So technology is changing. How best? No, you should not worry about, is AI is going to eat our jobs? I don't think so. I got more busy after AI than before AI. Because you know how to utilize the technology, how to make it happen, then opportunities are there for you. So it is your duty to learn and then earn for your future. So work on it, don't afraid of AI, utilize the AI, use it for your betterment, then you will make wonders. We are going to, businesses are there, businesses are going to be further, going to the next level, but you should know how to use the technology, what is available for us. So I have used the most effective manner the last 1 year. I spent $10,000 on AI alone, and I have learned it, I have utilized the maximum most, because I feel that alone I can do anything in the world. That's the kind of confidence I got, which would have not been possible without AI. So I feel really, how you utilize it. So don't afraid of AI. Make sure that you utilize that AI, learn it, and then grow it. And I really thank our sponsor also for this data teach, So they are really building good courses for you guys and utilize it. And I really want to thank all our supporting partners for making this happen. And if there are any 1 or 2 questions, I'm happy to clarify and take it forward. And I really appreciate. The one thing is 100% day one when I announced it, though it is one person idea, but it can't be run by one person. So we made as a non-profit organization, Section 8 company, 100% run by volunteers. So today, even this event, for example, right, I have not even spent 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time. I want my team to run it. I want them to make mistakes. I want them to learn it and then become leaders. That is the only way you will become better. So we said that is the power of the team. I want big clap of round to all our team who has done that activity for them. Anything, one or two questions before I take it off? So you wanted to clarify or anything to support you needed, or any suggestions also you guys have it, do let us know and we are happy to take it forward.
How can we enroll volunteers for campus TG10X?
So see, the same thing, right? See, the biggest thing is lot of people come and say I would like to volunteer. But the problem with this TG10X volunteering is we take a minimum commitment of 5 hours from you, and that means every day 1 hour. And we don't follow with you. You have to take up the problem, understand the problem, execute it. So a lot of times, I don't want just a person to execute. I want to create a leaders in this voluntary network also. You come here, you take up the problem what is there, you commitment yourself, you are answering to yourself, not to anybody else. So all the volunteers what we have grown up here, they said I would like to volunteer, and you will regret sometimes, some people will regret, we terminate them. We terminate them because they are not able to, they just come and say I would like to volunteer. But we need volunteers, people who are proactive, ownership driven and committed for themselves. So you are not working for us, you are working for you to grow, and you are working for the community. So we need that kind of volunteers, and all our teams are like that. We have not asked anybody, we don't pay anything, but we demand from the volunteers once they commit it. So you take up the opportunity, you will grow it. So all our people are like that, So I think Hitesh, you should share your experience as a volunteer. So so we have opportunity, because we need hundreds of volunteers. We can't run. We need hundreds of volunteers, but you take up one opportunity, one problem, solve for 100 people, you are a volunteer, you are a leader. So that's the approach we are taking it here. Yeah.
I just went over your website. If I have to choose some college, I am not from college. If I have to be a mentor or volunteer, I have to come from some college.
No. So we have a concept called ecosystem enabler. So for the campus, you are an ecosystem enabler, supporting them in any fashion what we have. In TG10X, we have 9 different personas. In campus strategy, maybe 4 or 5 personas. One of the person is ecosystem enabler, basically like a mentor or advisor. So we can also add one separate section called mentors within the campus also, who wanted to teach the students, or you wanted to do at a bigger level, which is ecosystem enabler level. Either you can join as an ecosystem enabler, or I can add an additional category called mentor, so you can able to teach the students also, if you want to work with the students. But in the regular TG10X, you already have a mentor role already in place in regular TG10X. In campus, we don't have the mentor role. I think I will add it that.
And then what's the benefit for any volunteer? I don't mean monetary benefit here, but what's the recognition or a benefit of volunteer is getting here?
My approach of is, to me, the meaning of a service to me is do something without expectation anything. That is the right way of service mentality, right? You do anything without expecting anything. You get more than what you expected. So my point to anybody, whoever wanted to volunteer, whoever want to spend time, don't expect anything. Just do what you would like to do. You get more than what you wanted. We don't want to commit any commitment, you will naturally become leader, you will naturally have relationships. I can't talk about how many benefits people got it, but rather me promising to anybody, I want the mindset of the people that whatever the time you are giving, do without expecting anything. You will get more than, double than what you wanted. That's my commitment.
And will the campus TG10X events happen only in this college, or?
No, it can be happen anywhere. See, this is just an initiation launch event. I can't do this at a park level because it needs a proper structure. And mainly we wanted to interact with the students, understand. It is going to be run by a community-driven approach. It is not one person driven approach. So it's a community-driven approach. I think the leaders will be coming from that seats, not from here. We are going to give opportunity to all of them. For example, today, Jashwant and Hansika, they took the, where is Jashwant? Yeah, please come. And please come, Hansika. So they are the people. I did not even ask for the, come, Jashwant, please come. Come, so I did not even ask for this launch event. I did not ask. He called me, he messaged me, sir, why can't we have our, have a campus.tg10x as an official launch? And I said, please do it. And then he brought one more team member who is already a volunteer for the last 1 year. And they brought maybe 20 members team. So I did not even ask for it, or I did not had in my mind an official launch of campus.tg10x, because the moment I have an idea, I need to give more time. So it is not my idea. It is the idea from a student who is studying. He said, you have built a great platform. Why can't I take that opportunity to launch it in front of that? I will do the event. I given the handover. Did I involve anywhere? No. I did not even involve. Because that is where the leaders will come. I think the learning he has made in the last 10 days would have been massive than what he learned in the last 1 year. That is the real experience, right? He was the big, and then he has to struggle so many vendors, so all these partners. I know all of them. I did not introduce. I want them to figure it out. I want them to learn. And I know a lot of speakers. I did not introduce. I said, you go and figure it out. Because it's easier to give something, but easier to, I wanted to teach how to get the fish, not that we should give fish to everyone. So that is the concept I given to them, and they said, do it. And these t-shirts, what you are saying, one other volunteer spent till 1 hour last night, 1:45. Aditya, where are you, Aditya? Yeah, please. So he has been figuring out that whole thing last 10 days, and he printed it, got it at 1:45. He got the handover of the t-shirts, right? So it is not me. They have taken. I have not even asked them. So it is that kind of approach. That's the kind of ownership is what we need to cultivate in the culture of it. Then things will happen differently. So that is the kind of ecosystem I want to build it, and then we don't want any of those things, right? We wanted to build something different what was not there. So thank you guys, both of you, right? Yeah, thank you. My time is over. Any questions, anybody? Yeah. Okay, we'll start the program, and with that I really appreciate and thank you all of you. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.
Naidu garu, please come onto the stage. We'll officially launch the poster and everything.
Then bring all of you.
Yeah. To officially launch, can Mr. Sahil from TGAC please come onto the stage, and the partners, Mr. Satyakumar garu, and all the partners.
All of you guys are. Any approach?
No, we just have a digital launch
company. So trying to make it digital. Yeah, like tech, everything is everyone's tech. Just give a talk. Yeah. Please give a talk and then one. You will all stand. You all stand for it. That's what you want to click there. Okay, I will.
Yeah, we can virtually click it.
Please come. You all want to write. Yeah, keep clicking. One,
2, 3.
No, they will click on. Okay.
No, the laptop is there.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, we wanted to be digital earlier. We thought that were differently, but we wanted to be a startup company, and this has been prepared by Jeshwant himself. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Control C.
We are reading it. Have to watch we are ready.
Yeah.
I guess we need some time. Okay. Yeah. We'll try one more time. Click. I want to do it. Okay. No. Reason I think we captured it. If not, then we can do it again. We captured it.
That's more important now.
That's more important. Good. Thanks everyone being part of it. Over there we'll have more sessions about TG10X in the later stage of things.
That how many people, how many students you wanted to have in next 1 year? You know what is the target he given to me? 1 lakh people should be there on the campus. That's what
And all of you guys here are responsible to make me achieve that milestone.
It is your responsibility.
Yeah.
It is for you. You are putting your future yourself together. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. Let's have a group photo.
Yeah.
Congratulations, TG10X Campus.TG10X.
Good?
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Want you to be.
This is Sahil.
So, Sahil is our TGIC is a state ecosystem partner who has helped us with all of the initiatives, and we are looking for more collaboration with them in the future. So, yeah. So, few words from Sahil, and then we'll quickly start with the first panel. Yeah. Hi. Very good morning to all of you. Today it also happens to be two very special days. Can somebody tell me? It's Father's Day and also International Yoga Day. So when we first got to know about TG10X from Naidu Garu and the entire community maybe a year back, I represent Telangana Innovation Cell, which is the state's nodal body for promoting the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. The first thing when Naidu Garu told me last year that he's planning to do a big series, not only about the walking, but it's gonna culminate into a lot of different activities for different age groups, and I was like amazed. First dot that I was able to connect, TG10X number you see, number is 10. This is the year 2026, so entire innovation ecosystem of Telangana started exactly 10 years back in 2016 when the state innovation policy was formulated and all these organizations started coming up, T-Hub, TGIC, V-Hub, T-Works, Task. So exactly in the 10th year of Telangana Innovation Cell's origin, Naidu Garu decided to launch TG10X. So what a wonderful similarity, I would say. Next thing, the moment I saw the audience today and Jaswant and their team was coordinating with me for last 1 week or so, how do we make it more impactful, how do we make it more engaging for the people. What I did, Naidu Garu was very right when he said that they are the ones who are going to take the entire ownership and leadership. Jaswant came to me, I told him, listen, you come on a very wrong day, I'm packed with meetings today. There were delegation visiting from Australia and there were other meetings packed up that day. That guy and 2 or 3 other volunteers, they waited entire day from morning 9 to 4 just to speak with me and get the entire list of database of incubators and other college e-cells. For a moment you will feel like it's just a 10-minute activity. Now it hats off to their dedication that for a 10-minute activity they were waiting in T-Hub just to meet from 9:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. That shows the kind of culture Naidu Garu has been able to build. Number 2, I'll also tell you a little bit about what we do at TGIC. So TGIC's major target audience resides in Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 cities of Telangana, because when the entire innovation policy was being formulated by Telangana government 10 years back, Hyderabad, of course, by default was the epicenter. But there was a big chunk of populace who were left out of the innovation cycle, and those were living in the rural areas. So TGIC was formulated as a policy that our focus is also going to be in the rural, 32 other districts apart from Hyderabad. And the idea was, how do we nurture, how do we take out more innovators from rural areas? Do you all agree with me or not when we say
You go to any nook and corner of India and you will find creative, innovative people there as well. Yes or no? Right? So similarly, why only Hyderabad should be seen as the epicenter of innovation and entrepreneurship? There are so many creative stories, so many innovative startups have come out of tier 2, tier 3, and one special like soft corner I have for tier 2, tier 3 founders is when you look at them, they are not diverted. Their focus, their vision is very clear. Once you tell them, okay, to do this A, B, C, D thing, they will not do E, F, G, H also. They will be only focused about what you tell them to do. And that is how we are able to see some wonderful success stories coming out of tier 2, tier 3. Now, since we are having the campus launch activity today, I am going to leave you with a very short story. This story is about a hummingbird. How many have heard that hummingbird story? So the story is about that small little bird, big forest, a fire breaks out, and all the animals of forest are running away to save their lives. Now suddenly there's this small bird sitting on a branch of a tree, and what this bird is doing, just going to the nearby lake, picking some water, splashing onto the branches of the tree to douse the fire. Do you really feel that amount of little water the bird's beak is big enough or sufficient enough to douse the entire forest fire? No. There's a monkey sitting by nearby and mocking the bird. Monkey saying, oh, crazy bird, do you really feel that the amount of water you're carrying in your beak will be sufficient enough to douse the entire forest fire? Bird is very humble, very polite. Bird replies to the monkey in a very soft tone, very polite tone that I do not know. I do not know whether the amount of water will be sufficient to douse this fire or not. But I do know one thing, that many years later when the history of this forest fire will be written, my name will be there amongst the one who at least try to make an effort to douse the fire and not run away from it. Now, moral of the story is, the entire TG10X community is doing exactly what that little bird was doing thousands of years ago. You see this entire population right now, India happens to be like second largest populated country in the world, and now the biggest problem the Prime Minister is having at the center of the affairs is employment. And how do we generate more employment? By creating entrepreneurs, right? So what TG10X is doing, exactly what that little bird was doing in the forest, they are trying to douse the fire of unemployment, fire of awareness about entrepreneurship, fire about making people independent, startup founders, and that's the culture we need to build at the center level, at the state level, at the nook and corner level in Telangana as well. And that is what we have been doing at TGIC. So I wish the team all the very, very best. And since it also happens to be the Father's Day, I'm sure all of you will agree that a founder's journey is very, very similar to a father's journey as well. Yes or no? Right? How a father nurtures a child right from a like nascent age. Similarly, a founder is always behind the scenes, making things happen. So I don't know whether it's the right platform, but I would definitely like all of you to just take a moment, stand for 30 seconds, and give a big round of applause for all your fathers, because we are here because they brought us to the world. Can we play that song, Papa Kehte Hain, for 30 seconds? There's a line in that song which is very, very relevant to any startup founder's journey. I think it says that koi na jaane hai meri manji kahan. This line is very relevant in any founder's journey. I'm sure a lot of the people sitting here will agree. You are trying to make things happen, you're trying to crack big deals, but you're always unsure. There's always a question mark that where this will lead up to. I used to ask this question to myself, to all the people that I meet, to all the mentors that I've had in life, that where exactly are we going? And I think that question itself is the answer. Because many years ago, Krishna said nothing else in Gita. He said journey is the reward. So you will not know where is going to be your destination as the founder, but it's a journey that you should appreciate. It's a journey that you should always cherish as a founder. And are we ready? Papa Kehte Hain. Yeah.
So as a founder, as a young student entrepreneur here who is trying to build something, we're aspiring to build something for your coming years, I think this journey is going to be very special, and we could not have a better day, better special day to have this launch today on the occasion of Father's Day, right? So just 30 seconds I'll take and we'll sing it together and I'll wrap it up. Yes, I will come sound. Yeah. Of excellence that we should always cherish, and with these words I like to wish the entire community very best, and thank you so much for having me here. We are always there, our initials always coincide TG with each other, so we are always there by default as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahil. Thank you for the valuable lesson too. So we officially begin, and let's go on to the next section of the event. Every successful startup looks straightforward from outside. What people really see are the setbacks, the difficult decisions, the failures, and the persistence that happens behind the scenes. Our first panel explores exactly the reality of it, the entrepreneurial journey. For that, I will like to ask Ms. Akila Priya to join us on the stage, the co-founder of Starbucks.ai. She was the Forbes Asia 30 Under 30 honoree. Let's welcome Abhinav too, the co-founder of Go, and the host for the panel, Mr. Hitesh.
Thank you. Excited to host it. If you could take this. We need this is important. Yeah. So yeah. Yes. Hello everyone. Thanks for being part of it. I think this is off. Hello. Check. Mic testing. Good. Just a second. I need. Yeah. So thanks Abhinav, thanks Krishna Priya to be part of the panelist here. We also added Azhar, but because of some personal reasons, he was not able to make it. That's fine. But we have like two amazing founders who can, and we get more time to ask more questions to them. So that's a better thing for us. So a lot of guys must know about their startup. That's what we wanted to pick and choose the one which are like nearer to the college students, and they would know about it. But still, if you could just take 1 minute, because I think for pitching it's important to you talk about yourself and startup within a minute or 2 minutes. You must have done a number of times. Yeah. So if you could take that 1 minute and just talk about your startup, that would be really helpful. We'll start with you.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here, and an amazing crowd you pulled up on a Sunday morning. So that's a good job. So hi, I'm Krishna Priya, founder of Starbucks AI. So basically, what we do is we build a full creator economy ecosystem end to end. So through Starbucks AI, we cater to brands and agencies and help them automate influencer marketing, find out which influencer actually is relevant to them and can get them ROI. On the panel side, we also have an app for the creators called Hey Creators, which help creators to upskill creators in a nutshell.
Great to know that. By the way, this is going live. So this mic is there. So then this mic is supposed to use it for you guys.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So thank you for this opportunity, guys. So really excited to be here and talk to all of you guys on a Sunday morning. Great that a lot of people showed up. So I am Abhinav. I am the co-founder and CEO of Go. So in a nutshell, right? So we are essentially a platform where anyone can book a trained videographer. So we call the trained videographer a reel maker, where he essentially comes to your location, shoots your content, edits it, and delivers it all under 30 minutes. So think this as urban company, but for content. So beneath this layer, right? So we are building the infrastructure layer of how on-demand content can be created for creators, for businesses, for people, for individuals who host events, who celebrate events, right? So yeah, this is what we do in a nutshell.
Yeah, and this one is also our media sponsor who is helping us cover the event. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we directly go back to initial stage, right? The early stage you started these things over there, because most of the students, whether they want to build something or they are in progress of building something, right? So we'll go with that. So
assume you are at the time where you have to start something, you're thinking of starting your own startup, right? So just take us your journey, like what was your thought in the mind? Was something you guys started with this idea, or was it something else you guys started? The big stories that we hear, right? Like YouTube, Facebook, but we want to hear from the real audience, real founders, right? So how was the journey? The starting part.
Yeah, interesting question. So, just a fun fact, I am what you call an accidental entrepreneur. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. I was not stuck that I have to do something in a startup world. I have to go build something big. I was not searching for ideas.
Yeah.
So it happened very organically. I was a full stack developer at a startup I was working for, and there we saw this gap that everybody was doing influencer marketing manually, and there was no structure. It's a very unorganized market. So I thought, when we are living in 21st century where tech is automating almost everything, why can't we do this? So that was just that tech brain or that itch to build something in this. And I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. And that is how we built Starbucks. And that is, and before I knew it, we had a product, we had to hire employees, and that is when I realized, oh shit, I have a startup. So it happened very organically for me. It was not something that I wanted to do. But coming to the pivot, this is also an interesting thing. So initially, in the initial days, the rosy days, right, we thought we'll have an app for the creators, an app for the brands. Brands will post their requirements and creators will come apply. So it'll be like of this freelancer marketplace. We had everything set, built it and launched it. Once we went into the market, we got this feedback from the brand saying, an influencer marketing agency does this for us. Why do I need to install your app and do it? So that was like, oh, we were thinking the brand's problem was finding influencers, but the actual problem was understanding if this influencer's audience are real or fake. Will this influencer get me the sales or views that I'm expecting? So the entire shift, market perspective that we didn't have, I think that was very important, and that is where the pivot happened to the software that we are building.
So right now you have an app, or you kind of discarded it?
No, we don't have it. It just became a feature of our software right now. Okay. The software is more into the analytics data. It digs deep into where the brand's issue is, whatever influencers they can collaborate with. And so.
Got it. But yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? Like in the morning I was talking to people, right? So that's what I was saying, that idea is something that you personally are facing a problem. Like I feel, hey, why don't we have something in that way, right? Like for example, I'll take a story, right? I have a daughter, she's 18 months old, so a lot of vaccinations that comes into picture, right? Why don't we build something to track it?
Of course.
Again, it's just in local that they publish it only for my purpose, but the point here is like, anything it could be, like you are facing it, your father is facing it, your mother is facing it, your friends, like she said, right? So think about that, build it. AI is helping you build, right? Like TG10X is completely right coded. So you could build it. Again, we don't want, like Krishna Priya said, don't build it completely. There's something called an MVP. You build minimum viable product, you pivot in the market, see how it is going to there. But yeah, a really interesting thing.
One important thing I want to add on that is, a founder should be open to getting feedback from the market. You can't just be blindly in love with your product, blindly in love with your idea and think that market is not ready. When market is telling you no, or it is going slow, those are signals that you have to take, and you have to understand that it is time either for you to pivot your business model or your product, or make something with it, because market signals are very strong. You can't ignore this.
Great to hear that. Avina, we would like to hear your.
So that made a lot of sense, right? And contrary to my journey, I am a CBIT graduate. I passed out of college in 2025. So right in college, right? So in our in our second year when I was in 2023, right? So I always wanted to join an early stage startup, predominantly in Indian consumer space. So I always thought I would start something of my own at some point of time in my life, but I did not expect this to be this early. So what essentially happened was I gone through this Aditya Birla portfolio company called Nobera, which was building a category that I personally felt like a niche market. So I directly reached out to the co-founder of the company, and he was kind enough to reply me back in my early stage, and nurtured me a lot there. And again, it was so the problem statement that we are solving for is booking a videographer, right? So all this happened when we were just planning a small event for my sister's birthday. So in the current world, right? In India, we are used to extreme convenience. All thanks to quick commerce, or even house help is solved in minutes, right? So the credit goes to urban company or the Snapbit Pronto, which they're solving for. So booking a videographer in India still was a problem. And for my sister's birthday, as I was looking at a fair price point, I couldn't find a reliable videographer. And even if I found one, I had to wait for content. We almost waited for 3 weeks, which was like borderline cruel for in a country which is very extremely convenient, right? So this was the problem statement that we wanted to solve for, and glad that I met my co-founder, who is my college senior, and we complement each other a lot. So that is how it happened. Again, initially, right? So it was just an MVP that we thought of building. So instead of again, we did not have real conviction of building a platform where anyone can book a videographer. So what we did was we said we'll just go with the market instead of building with assumptions a lot. So as I really had good experience and cultivating how early stage consumer startups looks like, right? So what really happened was we took a couple of videographers from our college club. So we went to an event management company, and we also went to a couple of creators who need regular short form content, and we wanted to just test if there is real delight in delivering a video quickly in 30 minutes, right? So that is the starting point, and again, it is always important to understand the market, go through the flow. So that is something that we have learned over the journey.
Great to hear. And again, the same thing, right? Like, there's a problem that you faced, and it's not why don't we do it. So I think that's a very good convention of it. One question to Krishna Priya, right? Like he said, he started when he was in college. He was seeing this problem. So I want to understand, back in college, like your last year or something. How was it? What were your thoughts running behind the job, or like how your thoughts were? Like, just wanted to understand.
Yeah, sure. So, again, one more fun fact about me. I was a nerd. I'm a college topper, state topper. So, I did not have such thoughts as to where I would end up, because it was all pretty straightforward and sorted for me. After even during my graduation in the 4th year, I got into 4 MNCs.
Oh.
But then, I mean, that is where it started. I wanted to take the road less taken, and then I joined a startup where I got exposed to all this world, and that is how this whole journey started.
Oh.
So I think I had the entrepreneurial mindset always, but never thought I would start something on my own. So yeah,
more like joining a startup, helping them grow.
Not helping them grow. I just did not want to be one of the crowd. Like let's take any MNCs. They hire some hundreds of people from my college. So I didn't want to be one among the crowd. I wanted to take the road less taken. This was back in the days when startup was not even very fancy.
Okay.
It was just a 4-member team. I joined that early stage startup to kind of explore what it feels like, what is this hype about startup, what do you even do, how do you build a product and all. So yeah.
Great to hear that. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you try, you build, also you try some startup, you learn with them, and eventually build your own. So there's a fancy title that founders of is a chief of staff people got nowadays.
Yeah.
I think Zomato has made it more popular with that.
Zomato actually started the trend, so yeah.
That's the thing. So since you're in college, we'll take a different question, something similar. I think you both guys are graduating this year in your college.
Okay.
So what would be your next step?
Obviously I've done something in AI, right?
Okay.
I've done some course in AI. So, so if I graduate right now this year, I think I'll join a startup again, something in an early stage, something in the AI space for me to explore more and understand how things get built from scratch. I'll still take the time.
Yeah. I know you graduated last year, but still I think you're still graduating this year.
If at all, if I graduate this year, right, I would still pick an early stage consumer brand which is building in India. And I am the one which loves solving in closer. I'm the one which loves solving in consumer space more than the tech world, right? So I would choose early stage Indian consumer brands.
Great answers. And yeah, this was more I wanted to understand from the college life how, because we have students here, and the aim of the TG10X is to help them, whether it could be get a job or to have this entrepreneurial mindset to start something and all. So that was the thing. So let's move on to the next stage, next level, right? Like, okay, you guys started your things. You already said about how the things are started, right? So let's talk about the challenges you guys face. So every startup goes through challenges for sure, right? This start them outside, but inside this challenges always. So just let's talk about a bit on that, so that there's a kind of ground reality or phase that people do understand other things. And as I say, every challenge is something that can be overtaken. So the challenge, and how did you overcome that? So,
You want to start?
yeah, you can start in.
So again, right, it was it is very fancy from the outside world to start a startup and say that you are the co-founder or CEO of of some company, but it is not the same with it is not the same inside, right? And one challenge that we always face was early stage hiring, right? So we couldn't find people with high accountability or drive initially, and that was one challenge that we are still waving through. And again, it is all listening to the customers, right? As we love the idea, right? So that is how we'll enter into the market. But people often fall in love with their product, so that they'll not be understanding if the consumer really wants to pay for it, right? So listening to your customers is something that is very important early on in your startup. And hiring for intent is something that we have figured out, which will play a significant role in the journey.
Okay, great to hear that.
Okay. So, like Abhinav was mentioning, challenges will be there, and challenges keep evolving as the startup scales. So, like in the initial stages, it will be the hiring problem, later on it will be the working capital, later on it will be the cash flows, whatever. So the challenges just keep evolving as the business grows. It's not like it will ever end, or if it just go this phase, the whole trap that we were in when we were kids. 10th hypotherapy, internet hypotherapy, that never happened, and that's a trap. Just like that, even this is a trap. So if you solve for one challenge, there's something else waiting for you as you evolve. But one thing that helped me, or one thing that was useful to face any challenge, was the mind shift or the mindset shift. So one small example, right? When you build a startup, you go to customers and try and sell your product. You listen a lot of no's there. You listen at least 100 no's to 1 yes in your initial stages with your customers, with your employees, with your investors. So in the initial stages, you will get used to listening to no's a lot. So instead of taking that no personally, I am understanding why the no, and why did they react the way they react. So maybe separating the problem and understanding why the no, and understanding the reasoning behind it and working on it will help you furthermore. So just that mindset shift will help a lot in facing any challenges as the startup grows. And one more thing that helped is, I think, because all the students here are in the early stages, this will be very useful for you. You have to be very shameless if you are starting something. You have to go out there, put yourself out there, keep asking, and the maximum somebody will say is no. They won't put you on this shot and kill you, right? So I think that is one more mindset shift that is needed.
Be extrovert more of, you could say.
I'm an extrovert for the business. You need not change your personality entirely, but you have to constantly put yourself out there and ask more. Yeah.
Got it.
You have to be constantly on your toes to figure out something, right? So there are a lot of uncertainties that comes out in the way that you are traveling through, and you have to always keep that motivation high in your team and yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I have a question related to the same thing, right? So you guys are mostly B2C, B2B2C, where you directly work with customers directly, right? And you get a lot of customer interaction that you're talking about. This is very important. So I have two questions, the same thing, right? First thing is, how frequently you guys do this interaction directly with the customer, not with the call, but face to face, or like we have like Depender goes on by the delivers, he used to do it. Like how frequently you guys do it, and how important it is. It's not just for the sake, but how important, how help your business. Second thing is a strange story that with customer that has happened, that you remember it could be like something while something has happened where you went to something but unexpectedly you started taking something wrong or something. Anything it could be. So these two things will help people understand, right? Like about the same thing, about startup journey, how the things are, how the struggles, and how can you improve and learn on that. So we'll start with you.
So the most important thing in running a startup, right? So it is always listening to your customers. You have to treat your customers like God, right? So they'll be telling you a lot of insights that you would never understand sitting in office. And we always we deal with at least 100 customers every day on a daily basis, right? So the data points that are there, the insights that different customers give, the reviews that they write. So these are very important, and they will play a very pivotal role in building the startup, right? And coming to what you have asked, right? So I sometimes go to our orders as well, where I'll randomly pop and understand how are our partners behaving with the customers, how they are treating the customers.
You do the shoot as well?
No, I am not very creative, so I don't really have skill in that shooting part, but I understand nuances very well. So that is something that played a nice role for us.
Got it. Great.
So coming to customers and how frequently I interact, I still don't think we are big enough that I let go of this, because customers are the core of the business, and I still sit in every product discussion, every demo call, and every customer group that we have. I still talk to customers with their market strategies, how they should involve and how they should get onboard influencers. So I'm heavily involved with customers, and I keep taking their feedbacks, be it in the form of strategies, be it in the form of how my team is interacting or how the product is evolving. So that is something I'm always very hands-on with the customers, because operations and customers is one thing that is core to us. And one funny thing, one experience that I had was it's not a life lesson learning kind of a thing, but a funny sort of a thing. So back when we were a 3-member startup in T-Hub, there was one article about Starbucks and me on UMI magazine. Mm-hmm. So one of the customers has seen it, and he called the office number, and I happened to pick up the call because it was just 3 members and I used to handle all the calls. And he spoke about the Starbucks, he spoke about how he was using the product, everything, and at the end of the call he said, convey my wishes to your founder Priya, I think she's doing a great job. So all this while he thought he was talking to a receptionist or a customer service executive. He did not realize he was directly interacting with the founder. He thought it was such a big team or whatever. So yeah, that was one such funny, wholesome interaction.
But it was more about positive side, right? I want to hear more towards funny side, negative side. That's what I want to hear, because that will help people to understand, right?
Negative side, oh god, you get a lot of negative reviews, or you get
funny.
There's a lot where customer says that why this button is in blue instead of red. I wanted this color. Can we customize it this way? Those are some funny on the spot interactions that we have.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's always good to get connected, right? No matter what stage it is. I mean, early or later stage, right? And it's more better you always keep on doing it. And that's again, more a B2C or B2B2C can do it. But B2B is something that you interact with business side of it, right? So you don't get that kind of opportunity.
No, but B2B you deal with only so many of people, right? Maybe you'll have maximum of 1,000 customers or 2,000 customers. It won't grow beyond that.
Yeah.
So managing relationships or maintaining that in B2B is more important and much more easier also.
Yeah, easier wise is more, but B2C is challenging because you can find 1,000 different mindsets. So that's the thing, right? So that's it. Yeah, story from your side.
So one funny story, like you asked, right? So a lot of people used to call us when we were a really small team. I used to handle the complete sales department. I only used to have one intern, who is working with me in terms of sales, right? So people used to call me up. People used to ask. I used to pick the call as a sales, associate, and people used to, ask me if the founder will come for the, videography service, right? So that seems, that was a funny moment for us as well. But again, we had to navigate through it.
I think we could say founder can come, but we'll charge you 10K.
But I'm not someone who is very skilled at that, right? So
no, you could just hold the camera, right? You should.
Definitely, we will try this.
You can try, because this is the trend I'm seeing in Instagram, right? Like I think in Bangalore, a couple of people have done it, like, delivery by founder, like it and get.
I think,
right, at the end.
I think Swish has done it recently.
Yeah, but you can keep the list to me at that point.
Definitely.
Okay, Anvika, are we on time or I can keep on talking, just keep on time on it. We are doing very interesting talks and everything, right, and really liking it. Yeah, so now to students, right, who are starting up this journey. So you started right out in the college, you started towards that, or which is accidental thing that you started. So if you have to, a student comes and say, hey ma'am or sir, I have this idea, I want to do something in this, again, consumer space, like it could be D2C as well. So what would be your question, like go ahead and try it, or okay, keep on doing it, researching about it, but join something which, so what would be your instinct, like what do you guys say?
So I would any day suggest any student, right? So to work in an early stage startup, so that you'll understand what it actually needs to build something real. So starting up directly is not something that I would advise. And if I have to, what is the second question?
Yeah, like what questions you would say, like what advice you would present?
It is like one principle that we always follow is make it exist first, and we can always make it perfect later. So you actually have to go into the market, talk to customers, understand where the industry is heading towards, understand the problem statement that you're solving for, and see if a customer finds value in choosing you, be it if you're saving time, if you're saving money, or if you're saving the effort of the customer, right? And it is always important to see through customers' lens and always reiterate the things that you had assumptions for. And again, it is rather execution than thinking of lot of ideas. Stick to one idea which you feel like solving for, which has large market for, and I think you will be sorted.
Great.
I have a slightly different take on this. So I think it completely depends upon the individual and the risk appetite, right?
Okay.
So because I think starting up something has become quite easy these days, given organizations like TG10X, E-Themes, Bower School, right? There's lots of community and lots of people that are ready to help somebody if they're trying to start up these days. So if you have enough risk appetite and if you know what exactly you are solving for, then I think you can just jump right in the startup world, because you're quite young and you have a lot of years to experiment, waste, fail, and then succeed. So if you have that risk appetite and you have the community around you to build, I think it's wise for you to start up now, so that you start up, fail, learn, and then build again right after 3-4 years. That makes sense. But like Abhinav was saying, if you know you want to do something in the startup space, or you want to start up something but you're quite not sure what, then maybe joining a startup would make much more sense, because you'll understand the ins and outs of running a business, how things work in a startup, and then you can make a call as to which idea you have to pursue.
Makes sense. I think good to have two different perspectives, and
I think it is a double-edged sword, right? So you have your own things.
Yeah. That's I was thinking, right? You right away started, you have more options to start. Stage by stage, but good thing, right? Both is needed. And one thing I could relate
boils down to the individual more than anything. So the individual will understand the urgency, and he'll take the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and one thing that Vishnu said I really value, I really look forward is like risk appetite that you talked about, right? Like,
correct.
Yes, it's the risk appetite if you could take a risk. And when you say risk appetite, it's not just a small word, just one word, right? It's a complete sentence altogether, things to be done, right? So if you could do it, well then you go ahead and do it and all. But then suppose same thing, right? Similar thing. So if you have list 3 important skills for entrepreneurs, especially in B2C, what would that be? Because you both have that, like 3 important skills that they could understand, okay, I have these things and I could develop that to be an entrepreneur.
Okay. So this is not just in B2C or D2C space, anywhere an entrepreneur should have these things, and quite not relevant to any startup that they are building in. One is, like I said, the founder is the salesman first. You are selling your vision starting from your parents. You have to convince your parents you are building a company. So you have to sell your vision to your parents, to your customers, to your clients, to your employees, then your investors. So be okay to sales. So I think sales is one important skill an entrepreneur should have, non-negotiable. 2 is the mindset that a no is not a setback, but rather it's a feedback. So one more important thing entrepreneurs should have is being comfortable with failure. So once you start something, it's not guaranteed that you succeed immediately, or let's say a feature or a product or a startup, anything. You have to be comfortable with reiterating. You have to be comfortable with failing 10 times to get that 11th time perfect. Yes. I mean, we are wired in a way that failing is wrong. You have to be right. So that is one other important skill or a mindset that an entrepreneur should have, is being very, very comfortable with failure and understanding why he failed, and then making sure that he won't repeat that, or he won't fail for the same reasons again. So sales is one thing. Being comfortable with failure is the second thing. And third is understanding that the problem you are solving for could be from your own lens. You thought the customer is facing ABC problem, but once you go to the market and talk to the customer, they may be facing something that is completely not relevant to what you thought. Maybe their main pain points are XYZ. Not even the ABC is not even in their top 3. So the market readiness or listening to the market should be your third thing, however big you.
Got it. So summarizing, salesperson, like you said, being shameless and selling things. Second thing is accepting failures. No, which I think every BTech student will have that kind of indirectly thing. Third one, if you have to summarize into one word.
What did I say?
Being a customer lens, so if you have to summarize like
market survey or market readiness.
Yeah, market survey, perspective of that. Like the whole saying, wear customer shoes, wear customer's hat, so something in that way. Yeah, so these 3 is important. Good to know that. Your perspectives on
so as Priya just said, right, so sales is the backbone of any startup, and you have to constantly sell to your customers, your employees, your investors, your parents, lot of your circle, right? So hands down the first point would be that. Second would be understanding from different points of view, right? So you have to always have this lens to understand from everyone's perspective, so that you will be able to figure out what is right, what is wrong for you. And the third one, finding a right co-founder, or if not, finding a right mentor, which will significantly impact the journey that you guys are having, right? So it is really tough to run a company or run a startup, right? So you always constantly face negativity around you, negative reviews around you, and you at the end of the month you might not have cash flow properly to pay your bills for as well. So all these things will be slightly easier with a right co-founder or a right mentor with you. And thanks to TG10X, which is significantly implanting finding right mentors for different people.
Yeah, definitely. And the point, the thing is like having the right partner, having the right co-founder or a mentor is equally important. I totally agree. And it's not just for startup, it's for anything, like career point of view, want right mentor who can guide you in a career direction. So back then when I joined, even I remember I graduated way back over there. So when I joined, I had the correct mentor who guided me in the career. Hence I'm here. So that's definitely a very point over there. So guys, you guys have heard the important things. So if you're preparing to get to their company, any company, you guys know what you guys need to prepare and be ready with yourself, right? Yeah. So students, right? Like you said, initially 3 now you started growing, you're growing. So do you look forward for hiring college students? It's like whether you hire interns like who are early in the college, or you try to hire post, and what's the time? Again, you talk about the 3 skill of founders thing, but for you're talking intern, right? What things you look at? And how important CGPA is, like your marks, your score. Just wanted to understand how important it is.
Okay, sure. So we always have at least 4 or 5 interns in our office that are studying as well as doing this. So that is one. And one more important thing that we notice when we hire a student is coachability. How open they are to learn new things and how fast they can adapt. CGPA is irrelevant. We don't even look at the certificates. We don't even look at which college and of course we look at the college, but not the percentage or anything. It's quite irrelevant because frankly, student with 50% often outperform somebody with 90%. Their the things we think as shortcuts would be something that they will be very good at. They'll be very good at optimizing certain processes. So CGPA is not very relevant as long as they are open, they're creative, coachable, and easy to adapt, fast to adapt. These three.
Got it.
I think 70% of our company is run by college students or interns, right?
Oh, great.
The average age of our company is somewhere close to of an employee working in our company is 22. So I mean we are a very quite young team, and and we hire for intent, right? So rather than CGPA, skills, pedigree, we only hire for intent because intent is something that cannot be taught. And how fast a person can adapt to the culture that we are building is something that is also very important. So I think these two are something that we usually look up to in early stage hiring.
Great. Yeah, and I agree with that. The intent and the learning things, and also, yeah, guys. One more point to take a note about what we look at for the students in the things. One thing before we move on to the next section, right, that I have, what Gen Z, right, like you are young Gen Zs, you are a lot of interns, so just Gen Z, right, and you keep on seeing on Instagram, like, what Gen Z does and how they behave to it. So, again, some funny story about Gen Z, right, just एक माहौल बनाने के लिए. Nothing else. So it's just Instagram for nothing in the real life.
Yeah, actually, Gen Z are quite efficient.
Okay.
They are nothing like how Instagram portrays, at least in my experience.
Okay.
They are efficient, they get stuff done. It's just that if they are on leave, they are on leave. They don't respond.
They don't do overtime.
They don't do overtime.
The timing.
Yeah, but the time they're working, they're efficient. So there's no funny stories as such. But
nothing
yeah.
as such. It's just on Instagram.
It's just on Instagram.
Okay.
I think
Is it off?
I think I think our app developer intern just did a mistake last night, pushing the wrong code, and so we were figuring out all those things. That is the funny story that happened today. But Gen Z are quite so we are seeing a lot of drive in people, right? So people who are constantly applying for internships, right, in their second year of college, third year of college. So people want to do something, and all they lack is direction. So if at all, if they are, if the direction is given right. So I think they'll do wonders.
Yeah, I totally get it. And in our TG10X volunteer, right? I'm not Gen Z. There will be a lot of Gen Z volunteers, and it's really great working over there. And
see on a Sunday morning how many Gen Z showed up.
Very much, very nice thing for there. Okay, so we'll write the last question that I had. Try to intentionally keep it in the last. It's related to AI. AI is everywhere. We will talk about a lot about AI. I thought let's talk something else. So most of the things related to that. So yeah, let's come to that last thing. What we talk about AI, how it is used. Forget about the tech part. Building, using the tech, or AI agent. Forget about that. Apart from that non-tech. Where you think AI is helpful, where you guys are using it actively, it could be for generation, search, image creation, whatever it may be. How, just want to understand the other perspective of AI, right?
Okay, so I think when the AI wave has started, right, so there's always internet waves. There's either .com wave, and after that came the big three wave. Now we are in the AI wave, where you cannot ignore AI anymore. You have to ride the wave so that you don't get left behind. So that is one thing. And when the AI wave started, everybody started saying that people will lose jobs. But on contrary, AI is getting a lot of jobs on the data mining side, or on the other sides, which the technical aspects that I'm not going into. But having said that, the AI has actually increased the speed at which the company is performing, my team is performing, and has also increased their efficiency at least by 2-3x. We use AI in everything. I think that's all. We use AI in everything, right from content creation, content writing, the website, like you said, the white coding that you do, we do that, and of course there's AI ML that we use, image generation. So even in the research, right? So there's AI integrated in every workflow that we do.
I think the mic is also not very things over there. That's fine. You could take this
No,
one.
no, that's fine. So I was anyway wrapping it up. So yeah, maybe
You can take this one. Yeah.
So we are looking at AI in every aspect of our journey, right? So right from sales to scripting, content creation, the ads, the performance creatives, everything, right? So AI has always been an enabler for us, and with the lean team that we have, AI is playing a significant part in improving our efficiency and reducing our costs by and by.
Good to. I think it's not working, but yeah, good to know about that. And like I said, intentionally I try to keep AI in the last because I think everywhere you go, you hear AI, which is important. Again, we can't really ignore that. Right? You have to be along with the wave. So yeah, the last question was that, and with that, I would like to end the things. There are a lot of things to talk, but Gen Z, EMC had like given me time and all, which is good. We have to run on the based on the time. And yeah, thanks for you coming like early morning, coming and helping people understand about startup or your journey. And I think definitely this will encourage some of you guys here to build. And the guys are here around. You can talk to them. We have co-founder of Reels and Go as well, so you can talk to him as well. So they can give you lot of perspective and all, and don't ask about job. I'm just saying that you can. Okay, thanks for that thing. Yeah. Any questions anyone has? We can take one or two maybe. Any questions if anyone has? Then we'll move on to the next segment. One. So one of the things that they said, right, that be shameless. You come, you stand, you talk, don't hesitate. Don't worry about the language. Don't. Anything, it could be silly question. You can ask the name as well. That could be also a question. No one? I think. Okay, we have one hand. Good. It's not working.
So, is there any option for you, like, because the trending book templates, everyone uses certain trending templates. There feature like that in your app.
Yeah, so it has three interesting. One is to grow. Second is network, third is content. So in the grow,
Battery's gone. What's next? Like, should we increase or should we reduce? Should I increase, right?
So this is one of the things that
okay, I will.
they're going to interact with the battery using
Remove.
We won't include it in actually design it's to Instagram stage rather than the different environment from scratch. But we can manage.
Sorry?
Get your hand.
Okay. But we can map you with what is trending, what is suitable for your profile, and then redirect you to the Instagram. So that is one thing we are working on.
Any other questions? Anyone has? I think you guys, anybody, I think
There's one here.
Okay. You can just speak about it.
So before you start something, how do you structure your entity? Is it something like sole proprietor or LLP or a private limited company? And how do you call it a startup? Because a startup is something that should be registered with the government. Or do you also need financial literacy by a chartered accountant or someone? Like how do you move forward and really start something? Because I'm a chartered accountant, I'm thinking forward and the parents or something. Startup people get to come forward, so I can just recover their financial literacy, tax literacy, possible. Do you think it is the company?
Nice pitch, thank you. So yeah.
The idea of pitching as well, right? Like very creative.
Good sales person you are.
Can you will go ahead with the things project?
So, like I said again, thanks for coming and giving your time. We would like to facilitate. Yeah, we would like to facilitate you with a small bouquet. So this is our bouquet. We don't, like I said, no flowers. Again, it will go bouquet, and also we really wanted to give something which is eco-friendly and sustainable. Yeah. We have covered surgery. And really thanks for coming and helping with it. And I would request students as well as you guys to be active on campus.tg10x.com. Be as a mentor, help people, giving the advice and all. And definitely we will see you guys soon in some other events.
Sure.
Thanks for it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And Mike to our the Gen Z MC. As this.
Thank you, Hitesh, for that panel. Thank you, Priya, Devendra. Fine, moving on to the next session, we have a masterclass by Mr. Praveen Garu. So let's welcome him onto the stage so that we don't waste any time. Actually, I guess you guys are a bit. Walk it.
So what is the range in which I can walk? Only here? Should be here?
The entire auditorium.
No, because the camera is there now.
Yeah, you can. The camera will no issues as such. You can walk.
Okay.
We want
Sure.
to be engaging.
Yeah, that's right. Like I realize that it's okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm not going to take the session today. Good morning. ఇలా అయితే కాదు సెషన్కి వచ్చారా వేరే సెషన్కి వచ్చారా గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ ఓకే sounds good. So first of all, I'm really glad all of you came down on Sunday, and I didn't put the PPT wantedly because I know all of you already hate PPTs, and I wanted to keep it more interactive for all of you, and we'll actually engage. So we'll just break it down into two parts. How many of you want, see, andaru vachi hustle cheyandi ani cheptunnaru kada, right? But do you think there's a very structured process around startups? Yes, no? Okay, let's find out how many of you are still thinking of an idea or how many of you want to start up actually? Can you just raise your hands? Okay, how many of you have started trying out some idea? Okay, few of you. How many of you are actually running a startup and at least moving it? Few people. Okay, cool. So why are all of you here today? What do you want to take away? Next half an hour, 1 hour. I'll tell you why I'm the person talking this topic or why they brought me here. But we'll get to that. But before that, I want to understand, like, 1 hour tarata nan titkokunda, okay, session bound ante, what do you want to take away from this session? Meer moment badte entrepreneurs kaleru. Yeah. The first thing is to be shameless, right? I think that's what Priya and all told you guys. We have to be shameless. So what do you want to take away? I'm genuinely asking you, all of you spending an entire day coming here and spending time. ఏం నేర్చుకున్నాం అనుకుంటున్నారు? మీరు అందరు ముందుకు వస్తారా లేకుంటే వెనకకు వస్తా? Anything is fine. Can all of you stand up once? I think the energy of the room is so low that I'll feel depressed now. ఒక mental health startup start చేయొచ్చు next. Okay, just stretch around, left, right. Stretch out, breathe, mancha. Andar chetu lepandi, stretch cheyandi. You will feel good. Koncham rush. Let that blush. I know since morning you're sitting and everyone is talking, so that's the reason. Okay, now please sit down and please help me take a good session because you guys will thank me later that you're hearing what you're hearing. Okay, endukante the topic I'm actually going to cover, very few people in India actually teach this topic. Okay, so check it out. Me business school lalo nerpiyaru, me college lalo nerpiyaru. That is a topic I'm actually going to take on how to validate. Okay, so this is where I'll tell you a very structured step by step. Whenever you guys do Maggi, you see step by step way to make Maggi, right? Take a nice cup, 2 minutes lo ayipotadi, water poyandi, cheyandi. So similarly, I'm actually going to give you a step by step way of building a startup. Okay, if you listen properly for the next 30-45 minutes, you'll actually get a playbook, very simple step by step way to build your startup. Fair enough? Good deal? Can I get your attention for the next 30 minutes? Yes. Okay, great. I love the energy. Just inka kudurthu inka ila penchutuna pondi, tagginchakandi, and you have good lunch probably after that. Okay, So who am I? I'm Praveen. Primarily, I'm also one of you guys, not a student right now or not a Gen Z right now, but primarily right from my college days, I have been trying to start up, which is probably long ago. I will not tell you how long. You can check out LinkedIn on that. So I studied in Usmania campus, did my mechanical engineering. Right from college days, I wanted to start up, and appudu maku inka ila startup ecosystem or TG10X, nothing was existing there. So I was figuring out every 2 years, new industry, new area. Alla entante over the years, like almost 15 to 20 years, I have actually gone through a lot of journeys. So I have multiple tracks. One is entrepreneur. This is my third venture. What I'm building right now is called Founders First Network. So just like how everyone has a customer segment, my customer is all of you are all the entrepreneurs. That's my customer segment. And what we are doing is we are actually trying to build Google Maps for all of you. Because most of you struggle figuring out, am I on the right path? Nen chese correcta tappa? Ekkada help dortudi? You have so many questions coming up. So over there, like we are leveraging AI and we're building Google Maps for all of you, where after this, it'll become like a very structured, straightforward support system available. So it's like, you go to one place and you have access to hundreds of places, right? That's what we are building, out of which even TG10X will be one of the place where you can navigate, right? What did I do in the past? My other two startups, one was a company called Startup Byte. I think all of you know LinkedIn. I was doing LinkedIn for startups. So this was 2015 to 2019. I did that, and then we did a community management software like Facebook on subscription laga. That was the second thing, and this is my third venture. The second track is I have been accidental academician or accidental teacher. So right from 2015, I have been giving a lot of guest talks on ideation, validation, business models. These started going viral. I got invited to all the top IITs, top B schools in India, and I've been teaching this topic called lean startups. So lean startups ఏంటంటే మీరు నార్మల్గా అందరూ ఏం చెప్తారు, ఐడియా రాగానే go build it, right? And then take it to market, spend 3 months, 6 months, and then you sell it, and then you realize somebody will buy or not. And that's a jackpot. What I teach is the opposite, sell and build. Okay, even before building, what exactly do you need to build? That is what I teach. That's the topic. And then it spiraled, and 2018 onwards, I've been teaching in B schools as a visiting professor, guest faculty laga, Symbiosis, Pune, Mahindra, Flame, like quite a few, Bower. I teach in a lot of places this topic, or I'm doing a trailer of the topic today for you guys, and there are very few people in India who can teach this topic. That's the reason I was telling you that, pay due attention, because you're not going to get it again, right? It's not very structured knowledge outside. That's the second track. Third track, I've been an ecosystem enabler. And when I moved back to India, I did my MBA in the US, by the way, before this, and in entrepreneurship, and I came back to India. I worked in the US as well in venture accelerators and all that stuff. So ala chese entante when I came back, I started consulting IIIT Hyderabad Incubate. I was helping them build their programs. Then it spiraled Indian Institute of Millet Research, Usmania, like I've been doing, and currently I think all of you know T-Hub. I consult T-Hub also on their programs. So I help build the programs, kind of stuff, right? So ala pretty much now I've been in many spaces, and most recently, just before Founders First, all of you know Daily Hunt, news app, Josh, TikTok kind of app. So I was part of the leadership team there. So I was actually building India's second biggest hyperlocal news app. I was running it, and also I was building political media. I mean, when elections, state central elections, the tech they're using for media monitoring was actually built by us behind the scenes. So that's like a very high-level snapshot about things. So that way I've got an experience of startup side, education side, and also ecosystem side. So that is where I started realizing all this, and I realized that everything is disconnected. And that is where I started building Founders First Network. So we are launching the platform in another few weeks, and we'll start rolling in beta. But other than that, we also do ideation, validation programs, like 30 to 90 days kind of stuff to actually help people do it. So I hope all of you are convinced enough and have taken hundreds of entrepreneurs and shown results to every single person and worked with more than 1,000 entrepreneurs. So that way, what I'm telling you is not just gyan, it is something that we actually apply and people pay for it. So listen carefully and we'll go. Sounds good? good stuff before lunch, and that's why they got me here for even having this session today. Okay, having said this, now let's talk about going step by step, right? I told you I'll give you a manual and guidebook. So let's say somebody has no ideas or have many ideas. How many of you have no ideas? అది తప్పేం లేదు, ChatGPT వల్ల కూడా we might not have no ideas. We probably haven't searched ChatGPT. Right? So how many of you have many ideas and you struggle to pick one idea? Kondaru? Yeah. So most of us never start. Agree? Why don't we start most of the time? నాకు ఐడియా రాలేదు, నేను ఐడియా చెప్తే బాగాలేదు. This is the kind of thing that we have, right? So that is where most of you think ideas is the starting point. Agree? Today I'm actually going to break that mental model. Okay, everything that I'll tell today in the next half an hour, 1 hour will be opposite of what you have learned in your life. But everything will make sense, like driving in the US and UK where opposite sides of the road drive left versus right. Right? That's what we are going to do. So I'll give you the logic as well behind it. So here first and foremost, most of you think idea is the starting point. Why? మీరు మాట్లాడాలి, మీరు మాట్లాడితే నేను మాట్లాడతా, లేకుంటే వెయిట్ చేస్తా. Yes, please tell me. Yes, because the whole point is మీరు ఏదైనా చూసినప్పుడు మీకు సడన్ ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది, లేకుంటే మీరు ఫ్రెండ్తో మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది, బయట KFCలో తింటున్నప్పుడు ఒక ఐడియా వస్తుంది. So you guys are getting so many different ideas, but you don't know is this a business? Because idea is not a business, idea is a solution. Agree? Just think about it. Idea is not a business, idea is a solution. At your home, maybe your mom is struggling with something and you see that any solution is there, she can actually get the help. Or in your college, your teacher is struggling with something and you're seeing that, can I do something to solve it? My friend is struggling with something, can I solve it? Correct? And మీరు ఎప్పుడు దీంట్లో మనీ చేయాలని ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఉండదు కదా ఇన్స్టెంట్ గా. If you do something and will help your mom, you're happy. Will help your friend, you're happy. That is where solution is. But మీరు మీ మైండ్ లో తొంగి చూస్తే, do you see so much of stuff happening before you come to a solution? Did you see you discovered a problem? Did you see you're observing your mom? Did you see you can feel the pain of that person? And that is where eventually ఏమొస్తుంది, solution is coming to your mind. And మనం బయట మాట్లాడేదంతా we start with solutions కాబట్టి the whole approach will be what? Solution. The second thing is we love our solutions because it's like, you know how parents love their kids, right? This is like that. మీరు అందరు ఏంటంటే ఒక ఐడియా వచ్చింది, if you go and tell that idea to your friends, if they don't like it, what do? Unfriend them, not change the idea, right? This is what we do. So primarily what happens is all of us start and love our idea so much that we want to bring it into a reality. Like how if you had a kid, I know a lot of you are too young, but eventually when you become a parent, you'll understand that your kid is the most smartest, cutest, best kid ever. Right? That's what parents are, and that's what you are probably for your parents. Now this is where we are in so much love that you can't see the reality of it. That is what is the problem. So ekkada modelu pettala, idea daggara modelu pettala, modelu pettadda ippudu. So the problem with idea is, think like, if I give all of you one knife in hand, అది ఎక్కడ వాడాలి చెప్పండి? కిచెన్లో వాడాలా, రెస్టారెంట్లో వాడాలా, సర్జరీలో వాడాలా, ఎక్కడ వాడాలి? కరెక్ట్. కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఇఫ్ యూ గో విత్ దట్ యాటిట్యూడ్, బై దట్ టైమ్ విల్ డై. కరెక్ట్? ఎందుకంటే వాట్ యూ నీడ్ ఫర్ అ కిచెన్ ఇస్ వెరీ డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ నైఫ్ వర్సెస్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ ఇన్ అ రెస్టారెంట్. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ అగ్రీ విత్ దట్? Surgical knives are very different. Agree? So now you understand why it is very dangerous to already have a knife in hand. That is the problem with ideas. మీరు ఐడియా నాది ఉంది, ఇది ఒక నైఫ్ అన్నమాట, అది కిచెన్ లో ట్రై చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ట్రై చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ట్రై చేస్తారు, ఎక్కడ ట్రై చేసినా కూడా ఛాలెంజ్ అవుతుంది. That is where even when Priya or Abhinav were talking, I was listening to the stream, so I was following the stream. So primarily this is where why they were saying pivoting, now starting something different, changing something, is because they started with ideas, they saw some problems and they're doing it, but then they realized that okay, maybe ఇది ఇక్కడ కూడా వాడచ్చు, సో ఇది కూడా చేయొచ్చు, అలా అలా తెలుస్తున్నాయి. అర్థమైందా? సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ టేక్ అవే టుడే? షుడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఐడియా ఆర్ షుడ్ యూ నాట్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఐడియా? స్టార్ట్. మళ్ళీ అక్కడికి వచ్చారు, రామాయణం అంతా చెప్పిన తర్వాత రాముడు ఎవరు అన్నాడు. షుడ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ ఆర్ నాట్ స్టార్ట్? not start with the idea, because you can get an idea, but I'll tell you the floor by floor. Like we'll build a building today, okay? Ground floor, first floor, and then I'll tell you step by step, like how I promised. But don't get biased with the idea, because if you get biased with the idea, it's like me already buying a kitchen knife and trying to figure out where to use it. Understanding now? So imagine if you do it the other way around. I realize a restaurant has a problem, and restaurant has specific problem and they need this kind of knife to cut the meat, for example. Danki meat ki best knife edo mere Amazon lo you find out and you buy it, or you build one. Is that a very logical, sensible way of doing it? And now you have built the best knife ever for that restaurant to cut meat. Agree? Now you go to your mom, see the problem that they are facing there, and then you are actually building something that is very relevant for her. Isn't it the best solution, obviously? So it's like, what is it? Finding who is hungry first, and then finding what are they hungry about. And then if you say that, oh, I like Japanese food, then obviously what should you start? You should do something in Japanese food. Now Japanese food as well, quick service restaurant kavala, offline restaurant kavala, cloud kitchen kavala, Swiggy lo deliver cheyala. You are finding out all this. Wala budget enti, 200 rupees and below na, 500 rupees and below na. Ila chesaru enti anta common sense la undi kada building startups now. And this is what is actually the real points that most of us miss out, because everyone is like L&D, build cheyandi, do it over the weekend, 3 days lo magic cheyandi ante workout kaadu, startups ala work out. The reality is it's a very structured problem solving exercise that all of us go through. Now if you understand these parts, always understand that don't start with the knife, start with the journey that I'm going to talk about, and knife will be an outcome. Because imagine I know that this person is hungry, they are hungry for Japanese food and they just want it delivered to their house and they have a budget of 300 rupees. All of you in this room can build amazing companies for that. Agree? Because I gave you the entire manual for it and you'll be ready to build it. But if answers tellinappudu em ayutadante, you're assuming they have money, you're assuming they will go to a restaurant, and when all these assumptions are happening, what will happen? You're going to mess it up. Agreed? Fair enough? Sold to this logic to start with. Now let's talk about 5 floors of a building, and if 5 floors, you can apply it anywhere to solve problems or build a business. Okay? Remember it, at the end of it, I'll ask you and you have to tell me the 5 floors. Okay? Like I promised the manual, I'll give you the manual. Applying the manual is next level problem. We'll figure that out if some of you are starting up. But otherwise, this will help you think properly, because one of the highest problem in startups is people don't have clarity. Em chestunna ante 5 answers chepta. If I do that, that means that you exactly don't know what you are building, what you are selling. That's the thing. Okay, so what can be the ground floor or basement? What can be the basement? What do you guys think? Problem? Come on, today is the day to be shameless. If you guys want to be founders who are in this room, see, I'm so shameless. Even after figuring out so many startups, I'm still figuring out my life. Okay, that's the reality. So, I always tell people this: you can be shameless today, or carry these mistakes along, and when you become the CEO of a big company, then you look very bad in front of media, talking the wrong things and stupid things. So it's good to be stupid today. Let people know that, okay, I learned something. And this is one of the first quality of a startup founder. If you guys want to go sell, 9 out of 10 will reject, like how everyone told you. That is where mundu baad anpistadi, tarvata frustration vastadi, tarvata we become neutral. It's okay. Yet another guy, it's like getting rejected in love, right? After 20 people reject you, you're like, it's okay. Right? Same thing. Startups would ante. So this is where what we are doing is, but unless you propose to someone, how will you know whether they like you or not? Same as in startups, where you are actually going and doing that small exercise. So now what we are doing is, we are going to build like real estate, this building. We are going to build floor by floor, but remember this step by step, not only here, even if you want to do engineering careers, any careers, I'm teaching you 101 of problem solving. Just din teeskoni non-profit apply cheyandi, for profit apply cheyandi, apply it anywhere, or you put money layer on top of it, it becomes a business. That's what I'm actually covering today. Okay? Fair enough? It's 12:20. By 1 o'clock I'll close, along with your questions as well. So, first is -1 floor, basement. Some of them said problem. Do you think something else should be the starting point? Customers, yes, all good answers actually. There's no wrong answer here. We are actually brainstorming together as a group. Customers is one thing, problems is one thing. ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా మీకు టెక్నికల్ టర్మినాలజీస్ కష్టం అనిపిస్తే థింక్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ లైఫ్ అండ్ దెన్ యూస్ కామన్ సెన్స్ అండ్ థింగ్స్ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ఇన్ టు ప్లే. Now imagine instead of this building, some builder gave me a empty land. Okay, that empty land is your fresh startup where you haven't started anything, day zero. Agree? Now empty land daggara, what do you see first? Of course you'll see the land. Now this land is what? Market research. You see that దీని అసలు ల్యాండ్ ఏరియా ఎంత ఉంది, అసలు ఏం కట్టాలి, 3 floors 5 floors ఇదంతా you do some research, right? That is one step. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll use common sense and I'll tell you how common sense is no different than building a startup. Alright, that's what we'll do today. Okay, you figured out the research part. Next, what else? Should I build a mall here? Should I build an academic institution here? Should I build a co-working space here? How do you get to know? By taking feedback, insights, right? So first of all, you check your capacity if I'm the right person to build or not. Agree? అసలు మీ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్లో 5 కోట్లు ఉన్నాయి, 5 రూపాయలు చూసుకున్నారా ఫస్ట్? రైట్. సో whenever before you go and check out the market, all of you might have picked one industry, right? Like how they said I'm going to create an economy, or he said about videography and all that stuff, right? So here the point is, each of you might be passionate about something. Healthcare anachu, fintech anachu, education anachu, ekkado oka you want to solve problems, right? And that is where this is called industry or market. And there's a nice technical terminology called founder market fit. Okay, malli cheptanu. Founder market fit. మనం ఏమనుకుంటాము, స్టార్ట్అప్ ఫౌండర్స్ ఆర్ సూపర్ హీరోస్, ఏ ఐడియా ఇచ్చినా చేసేస్తారంటే అట్లా వర్కౌట్ కాదు కదా. యూ క్యాన్ గెట్ అ ఇంజనీర్ టు గో టు drive a flight, right? So somebody has to be trained on flight, and this is where always the -1 floor is first not looking outside, looking inside. What is looking inside? First assessing what are you good at, what are your strengths, are you connected in something, do you have some special advantage? That is what it is. As students you might ask me saying that, Praveen, I'm just starting my career and all that stuff, what special advantage do I have? Fair enough. But here, one of the things you can do is, I'll give a nice example. Now imagine you have to build this building. Let's say you have nothing. Person 1 has nothing. Person 2 has 5 crores in the bank. Person 3 has 100 crores in the bank. Person 4 has 100 crores plus 100 connections. Person 5 has 100 crores, 100 connections and also government approvals. Who do you think has the best shot? Last person. Founder market fit ante ide. Adhumainda? So now what happens here is most of us are actually in that stage where we are actually trying to figure out, am I the right person or not? If you are not the right person, it's not that you don't have anything, otherwise why are you thinking about that idea in first place? Maybe you have seen some people, maybe you have some connections, maybe you have some mentors. Align chestamante, you can always go back and take a notepad and write down what all advantages do I have. Am I studying in a college where I can go talk to students? Am I studying in a place where college has an incubator and helping me out? You can start writing all the advantages that you have that can make you successful. But let's say advantages anni meeku chaala takku unnai. Guys, please, I have ADHD problems in life. Meer distract aithe nenu distract aitha. Okay, so either be here or feel free to walk out and chill, right? Totally cool. I just want to focus on people who are genuinely interested and we are spending time together, right? So the teacher in me comes out sometimes, so don't worry about that. So other than that, now imagine you don't have good founder market fit. Em cheyali ippudu? Now imagine you are that builder who's building that building, but you don't have all the resources you want. What will you do? You will? Exactly. You will find your co-founder. You will say, I have engineering expertise to build this building. Somebody else has expertise to fund that building. Or somebody else has good expertise on architecting that building. So together, we all form a team or become co-founders. Now you understand how to build your -1 floor? This way, what you are doing is to work on this idea, who are the people that have to be coming together to actually build this company. That is where he has a co-founder, she has a co-founder. That way, co-founder even in my previous startups I had co-founder, this startup I don't have a co-founder. But my team is my co-founders in some level. Getting it now? Everyone clear with -1 flow? The basement is always about you knowing why are you the best person to build this. If you don't have answers, figure it out. Or at least start off with whatever you know and then rest, pull in people. Like for example, you want to build an amazing academic curriculum but you are just a student out of college. What do you think you can do? Cheppandi. Exactly, find the experts, consult, take them for consulting, take them for advisory. Now all of you have suddenly become expert academicians, right? Because your team suddenly looks so strong that I have 20 years of experience in somebody building this. Now you don't look like a student anymore because you are showing all 3 big names behind you and saying that these are the people who are actually designing this, but I am running the startup. Can you see how you can show your weaknesses into strengths now? So everyone clear about -1? Shall we move on? This is all like a trailer. And I take it like a 3-month subject. Okay. So what we are doing is like ultra short version of it. Now let's go to the ground floor. What is the ground floor? Somebody said problem, somebody said customer, somebody said solution. What do you think logically, common sense wise, has to be the ground floor? Sorry? Investment and annaru. So think like this. What to build? Okay, that's a good one. What to build? I'm looking at LKG. See, everything I talk is LKG stuff. Did you find any word that I told which is complex? No, right? A founder market fit, I told you that it's just. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఎలా మ్యాచ్ మేకింగ్ జరుగుతుంది ఇది కూడా అంతే కదా ఫౌండర్ మార్కెట్ ఫిట్ యూఆర్ మ్యాచింగ్ విత్ ద మార్కెట్ ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ అ పర్సన్ దట్స్ వాట్ ఫౌండర్ మార్కెట్ ఫిట్ ఇస్ బిట్వీన్ ఫౌండర్స్ ఇట్స్ లైక్ మ్యారేజ్ in a way you are doing matchmaking, correct? So having said that, the ground floor is something that all of you know. All the 5 floors are something all of you know, by the way. I'm just making sure you think in that order. That's what is my goal. So come on, quick, take a shot. This is how we know who founders are. Problem. Okay, now let's discuss about why each of them and you'll start understanding what is the thing. Now, most of the times when you're building stuff, if you say, I start with a problem. Now, let's take an example of a problem. Can anybody give one example of one problem? We can actually work with that. Come on. లేకుంటే ఫస్ట్ ఇంకో వర్క్ షాప్ చేయాలనుకుంటా ప్రాబ్లమ్ డిస్కవరీ వర్క్ షాప్ see India is one of the best country to find problems. పొద్దున్న లేసినప్పటి నుంచి రాత్రి వరకు ఆల్ యూ సీ ఇస్ ఓన్లీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, రైట్? ఎయిర్ పొల్యూషన్. ఓకే, నౌ హౌ డు వి రైట్ ఇన్ టు అ సింపుల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్? Take simple things. Okay, మీరు అందరు స్టూడెంట్స్ కదా, let's take simple things. I'm unable to find internships, jobs, most favorite topic. We'll probably solve that problem now. Okay, so we'll figure out something around it. So if somebody is saying that I'm unable to find a job, let's say that is a starting point, like how some of you said problem. Is it super clear or is it confusing? Is it super clear or is it confusing? What do you guys think? Come on guys, I know it's Sunday but your brain is not shut down. Not a holiday. Yes, no, let's discuss. See, like I said, right, not you, even experienced founders struggle with this topic. I'm not kidding. 99% of experienced founders also don't know the subject. So all I'm trying to tell you is it's not like you guys are the only people struggling with it. It's not taught. Globally it is used very well. So don't worry that I'm looking bad. Nobody's looking bad. Okay? And not memory power chala bad. So honestly. Okay. Fair enough. He's saying that the objective is not clear. Now let's say I'll just give him unable to find a job and say go build a company. Now I'll not tell him any other instructions. Do you think he'll build the company in the right way or not? That means that is it my first step kada? What question is coming to your head? What is bothering? I know something is bothering for all of you, but what is that bothering thing when I said unable to find a job? What question is coming to your head?
Do I have the right skills? Am I working in the right place?
Okay. But who thinks all that? Okay, I'll say that I'm selling a Mercedes Benz. Okay. What comes to your head? You are the sales guy. I'm telling that go sell this Mercedes Benz car. Exactly. If you take that Mercedes Benz car and go to somebody who is getting 5 lakhs per year salary, what is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Or you're taking a 5 lakhs car and going to somebody who's earning 1 crore, again nothing will happen. And this is where, what is that word that I'm trying to get out of you for ground floor? Correct. Target customer means somebody has a problem, but we don't know who that somebody is. And if you don't understand that, how will you solve the problem? That is why when I said restaurant, when I said mom, when I said kitchen, I said so many things because we are just trying to find out who has that problem. Because if you don't know who has that problem, what are you going to do to solve it? Clear, Andaru? Because like you rightly said, problem is the first thing that comes to our head, and that is correct also. Tappen ledu. Kani, if you start unpeeling it, you realize that problem kinda kuda there is a floor, which is the who is having that problem. And that is where, if you can nail your customer segments, and ground floor, at least in my mental models or what I teach is, ground floor is customer segmentation or customer segment. Yes, please tell.
You say after problem and target audience comes to this.
No, absolutely.
What is the problem we think that who is facing it?
Absolutely. He made a very good point. After problem only you get to know who has the problem, correct? But your subconscious mind already has seen somebody and that's why you discovered the problem. Problem is always attached to a person, right? You out of thin air the problems sorry, check. Yeah, empathy means you're observing somebody, you're talking to somebody, you're feeling that yourself. So what I'm trying to tell you is, problem and customer are not separate, they're together. But if you have to pick one, I'm telling you 2 options. So any of you want to start your company, I'll give you a very easy way. Either find one customer and figure out all the problems they have. Okay, take one of the persons in this classroom or in this session and say that I'll ask them all the problems they have, or I'll observe them for 1 day. Like I'm shadowing you for 1 day and I'm seeing all the problems you face from the time you came from your house to this place. What all did you struggle? Did you struggle to book a cab? Did you struggle to get your breakfast? Did you do XYZ? I'm getting list of problems. Second approach, maybe you saw some problem and you're so frustrated, like going from here to Uppal every day is 2 hours in traffic. And you're so frustrated that I want to solve this problem. Okay, fair enough? Or going to your colleges probably. That's when you might struggle. Fair enough? So, ikkada problem kelli, malli again we are trying to find out who is facing that 2-hour commute. And you are again getting to customer. Fair enough? If you guys do this, all of you today itself can start your startup. Or at least start working on an idea. Fair enough? And that is why, ground floor, if any of you are struggling to see where to start, you have to do amazingly good customer research. Daniki endante, if you don't know who to pick somebody who you think you understand. Pick somebody, could be other friend, students, teachers, people you see around you. Go and start talking to them and understanding their problems. But if you fall into that category who says that I think I know a problem I'm really working on, then we'll talk about the problem part, which is the next floor of the customer. So ground floor, everyone is sorted with customer?
Yes.
Okay, Chappan.
Then you feel like it is like a pilot system.
Correct. So he's asking more about customer. Now let's take an example. When I said they're unable to get jobs, what came to your head? Who do you think is the target customer?
Unemployed.
Sorry?
The one who is unemployed.
Unemployed people. How clear is unemployed people? Under a customer segment? Is it clear enough? Yes. Come, let's discuss and debate. Students. What else? Who else? There's no one right answer, by the way. There are many answers here. That's why I'm asking you. Chappan. People who are working and looking for graduates. Depending on stream that they're looking for job. Because all of your students or most of your students Your thinking is like only students are looking for job. Do you guys agree? ఇక్కడ ఎవరు నాకు వర్కింగ్ ప్రొఫెషనల్స్ కూడా జాబ్ ఎత్తుతారని చెప్పలేదు. Yes, exactly. There are people who want to change their job. There are still undergrads who want to get a job. There are people who have graduated and for 2 years they didn't find a job. There are women who are restarting careers. They took a career break and they want to come back to a job. Can you see how many segments came when I started talking about unable to find a job? Is it starting to make sense? And this is where never get biased. If you are thinking that whatever comes to my mind first, that is what I'm going to run behind, what is going to happen? You are going to mess up. I'm telling you, right, as much as you stop loving your idea and your thinking and yourself, you'll build better companies. Because you need reality check in life. So, this subject that I teach, which I call as lean startup methodology, or globally that's what it's called, in that we never do one customer segment, we write multiple segments. So, job we have to figure out, but who needs it, and who needs it and who will pay for it. Imagine a student, if I solve it and they can't pay, then I'll not build for a student. Getting it? Because I can help build for a student, but let's say they're not paying me, how will I survive as a company? That's a hobby, it's not a business. Correct? But imagine a working professional is willing to put some money for somebody who's helping switch careers. Maybe I'll build for them. Getting it now? So, think that there are 4 roads to go to Delhi from Hyderabad. We are figuring out which road works for us. Getting it now? So, road 1 is working professionals, road 2 is students, road 3 is people who have graduated, road 4 is women who are restarting careers, and there could be 10 other roads if you start segmenting it. Agree? Clear till here? Paka, silence ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది అందుకే డౌట్ వస్తుంది. Okay, yeah, చెప్పండి. Yeah.
Whether the customer will face the same problem 10 years down the line, or because we wait for
It's a good question he asked. Should you think long term or should you think short term? What do you guys think? Okay, I'll give you real life example. Only basic examples. You'll get the answers. See, I'm telling you, right? All of you know by age of 10, all of you know everything. Basics, right? I'll give you an example. Now imagine you're a daily wage laborer. Okay, and every day you have to survive. Now what do you really think? You'll think for tomorrow or think for next 5 years? So the answer is every startup is trying to survive. And the beauty is in startups is what you start with and what you end with will never be the same. See, just now only we changed 3 times in the last 15 minutes stopped. Or you're telling those founders telling that we're changing so much. That is because the reality is what you think people want and what people actually do, there will always be a difference. Fair enough? Everyone will say that I'll join a gym on Jan 1st and do every day for next 1 year and they never go to gym after the second day. That's why gyms are very empty. Very busy on Jan 1st, very empty after day 5. So you'll say I'll do a lot of non-profit, but you never even have 1 hour to go for doing non-profit. You'll call your friends and say this Sunday let's go out for a movie, and you'll never go plan that movie or go for that movie. Fair enough? That's because what people tell and how people behave, there's always a gap. So manam em chestam, I sent a survey to 100 people. Everyone said I love your product, I'll buy your product, I love your idea. So we blindly go build, and then we ask for money. They're like, oh, I just filled a survey, I never meant it, right? Or they might have actually meant it, but they probably think something else is better in the market than your company. Fair enough? And this is where all of you need to really segment your customers, because if you don't know who you are building for, what are you building? Who are you solving it for? This is core. And like what I don't know his name, but sorry. What Arvind has said, it's not that again daily wage labor every day choose call me. Founders laga meeku vision undochu. Where you have vision, but vision is like you want to help women restart careers. That can be vision, but how do you get there? Nobody knows. That's like Delhi. You have to figure out your path to Delhi, and the beauty is I give the same idea to every single person in this room. Each one will come up with a very different company. That is because the segment you'll pick will be different. The problem you'll pick will be different. Your solution will be different. So everyone who has maths background knows permutations and combinations. Just in that permutations, combinations of these 5 floors itself, you will actually have thousands of companies coming out of this room. Fair enough? So the first thing always, my genuine suggestion is, figure out customer segments. And customer segments చేసినప్పుడు ఎలా చేయాలంటే many people come and say Praveen, students is my customer segment. Is it a good answer or a bad answer? What do you say? Okay, good, that's the right answer. Why is it a bad answer? Students are so many. So what should you do further next?
What is to look out of the type of student?
Exactly, you have to break it down further. Because do you think the person studying in a tier 1 city versus tier 3 city, they will act the same way? Will they have the same budget? Will they do things digitally the same way? No, right? అలా చేసినప్పుడు అందరిని కలిపి ఎందుకు సాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నారు మీరు మరి? తప్పు కదా. And this is where customer segmentation is extremely critical, because ఇక్కడ మీరు సరిగ్గా టెస్ట్ చేయకుంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే everything else fails. So think like this building, every floor has to be good. If this floor is breaking, then future floors will go for a toss. That is why more than 50% or more than 95% of the companies fail, or more than 50% of the companies don't have product market fit, because they didn't do the basics properly. Andukanamata. So just like how fitness lo weight tagginchalanటే ఒక structured process unదో, startups build చేయాలంటే కూడా there's a very structured process you can follow, and that is what we are discussing today. So imagine, if you clearly know I'm targeting tier 1 MBA students in Hyderabad, I'm betting you all of you can go do great customer research. All of you can go ask them problem statements, solve something, see how much they can pay, and charge them for it. Agree? And this is where I always tell people that when you're doing customer segmentation, don't build oceans, build ponds. చిన్న చిన్న పాయింట్స్ తయారు చేసుకోండి. ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే, ఇమాజిన్ ఇక్కడ ఈ రోడ్ ఉంది కదా, if I ask you to solve the traffic problem of Hyderabad versus asking you to solve the traffic problem of just this road outside the building, what is easy to do? This one. I'm telling you, tomorrow morning, if I put a hackathon today, all of you will come up with a solution by tomorrow morning. What difference happened? We actually built a pond. This is a pond. And you said, I'll solve for this. But if you solve for this, can you extend it till there? Yes, that's what Amazon did, or anybody did, right? They started with books and then they started selling more things and more things and more things. So each of you can solve problems very fast if you can scope the problem to very small area. That is the beauty of problem solving. So one line I want all of you guys to remember is, to solve any problem, define it really well. The best, fastest way to solve problems is to define it well. Most of them don't understand how to define. That's where most of them struggle. Fair enough? Customer. What is the next layer after customer? Now clear? Customer segmentation. So that way, don't worry. ఎందుకంటే మీరు అందరు ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి సార్, బయట వాళ్ళు ఐఎమ్ సాల్వింగ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ టాప్ 10 కాలేజ్ ఇన్ హైదరాబాద్ అంటే తక్కువ చేసి చూస్తారు. Like people think, oh, so uncool. What will investors think? What will my family think? That is all we are worried about. We are not. So you are indirectly building for investors, not for yourself or your customers. That's the reason you struggle so much. What is the next layer after customer segment? Now we'll go fast. Now you figured out who you are selling, or you are saying these 4 people need it, but I'm going to do research and figure out who needs it. What is the next thing after customer? Problem. You forgot your stuff. Problem. So this is where, after you figure out your customer segment, you are saying, now I'll go figure out what problems they have. But do you think all problems are equal? Every problem is not equal, right? If I say walk for 1 kilometer or you have to go for 20 kilometers, which is a bigger problem for you? Correct. So alane endante, even in people's life, there are problems which are more serious and there are problems which are less serious. Now what happens is, you like one problem, and that's again like your knife. I want to solve only this problem. There might be a big problem where that guy is jumping from the building, but you're still, I'll say that I'll just open the gate here only, that's the problem. I'll not fix that jumping from the building problem. So most of you again don't select the right problem in the set of problems they have. So this is the next step. How do you know something is seriously a big problem? I'll give you a nice hack that you guys can remember. Can you guys think of, how do you know something is much bigger problem than something else? Just think about your life. Now, how do you know something is a bigger problem than something else? I'll give you a list of 5 problems, but how do you know which one is a bigger problem than the others?
The impact which we are facing.
Correct. Impact that you're facing. Second, you will be looking for solutions. You'll be trying it out. It is an easy solution, but let's go one step behind. Now imagine you have to travel 2 hours every day. మీరు రోజు ఏమైనా కొత్త సొల్యూషన్ వచ్చిందా ఎత్తుతారా? కార్పూలింగ్ వచ్చిందా, ఏదైనా ట్రైన్ వస్తుందా, ఇంకా బస్ వస్తుందా, ట్రాఫిక్ రూట్స్ ఏమైనా మార్పు. Agree or disagree? If something is serious enough a problem, people constantly keep looking for solutions or keep looking for alternatives. Like for example, if two of them are working professionals and they have a kid, you like it or not, they'll keep looking for a mate. Even if they don't have the best platform in the world, they'll figure out some solution, they'll drop the kid somewhere and still fix with some average solutions. Agree? And this is how you get to know. So when you see people, if they are not doing anything about it, do you think it's a serious problem? No, they're chill about it. I'm daily going half an hour, 2 hours and I'm coming back. I'm not even trying to look for any solution available. That means it's not a serious problem. A student looking for a job after graduation is a serious problem because they want to get a job at any cost. And that is where so many people fool them big time. Because the intensity of the problem is high. But imagine a third year student, they don't really care about getting a job right away. They are like, it's okay, I have 1 more year's time. So now you understand the difference? Intensity of the problems. And this is where intensity of the problem is super important because most of the startups are not world's best companies. You're just starting off. You can't build the world's best companies on day one. And that is where, if the pain point is higher, they will still use your solution because Samsungs of the world, Apples of the world are not solving it. And that is why they'll come to you. Now do you understand why people go to startups? Because you're solving something that the market is not solving. And that is the reason why they're coming to you in first place. Because Hero Cycles is selling cycles, but let's say there are people who are doing national level competitions and they need a very custom cycle, and Hero Cycles will not do that cycle. But a startup might say that we are only building for Olympians or people who are trying to get to Olympics. Now all these Olympians will go there, right? Exactly. Now that's a startup. Getting it? How I'm segmenting people and doing it. So after problem, what comes next? Customer, problem, solution. Everyone agree? I need some energy. Yes? Okay. Now by now you know that I'm the bad guy. So solution is not the answer. So, like I said, right, everything is going to be very different than what you thought. Between solution and problem, there is one more floor in between. Okay, I doubt anybody can answer that because it's called assumptions. Okay, sounds like a very fancy word. What is assumptions? Assumptions. Okay, I'll give you another nice word to know what assumptions are. It's called because. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమవుతుందా assumptions అంటే ఏంటో? Student is unable to find a job because. Now give me answers for because. Because they don't have skills. Okay, point 1. Because they are not consistent and disciplined. Point 2. They are not focused. They don't have their LinkedIn profile. They don't have a good resume. Agree, yeah, Dada? All of you today now will build companies next half an hour actually. See, all of you are already telling. I'm not kidding. It's not too hard to build startups. You know, you actually have to follow structured process. Yes, running startups is hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I don't want to make everything look too cool. Startups is absolute intense. The highest form of sports in some level, right? Mentally, physically, everything. But what I'm trying to tell you is, now each of you told me different things. Let's take 2 or 3. One is student is unable to find a job because they don't have good interviewing skills, let's say. And the second because is because they don't know how to qualify the aptitude test. Third could be because they don't even have a good resume. Fair enough? All 3 look fair reasons. Now, if each of these because is what you believe, that is because why each of you told different answers, why didn't all of you tell the same answer? That is because each of you think this works like this because of this reason. My mom has a problem because of this reason. That college has a problem because of this reason. I'm not able to start up because of this reason. Maybe that reason could be right or wrong. Agree? Okay, I'll pause here. Reason can be right or fair enough. You might think that that guy is not starting because they don't have funds. But you suddenly realize that they have 10 crores in their bank. Then you realize that that is not the reason, something else is the reason. Maybe their dad is not allowing them to start a company. They are saying, come join the family business, don't start your own company, come join the family business. And this is where most of these reasons are the reasons why you think this person has this problem. Fair enough? That student is unable to find a job because of this reason. Agree now? Clear? Okay, so ikkada because lo entante, now two things might happen. Either it is right or it is wrong. If it is right, now let's say student is unable to find a job because they don't know how to clear the interviews. If this is right, what will happen? What is the next thing, next floor? I told you after assumptions, what is the next floor? Means you have cleared that floor, everything is a floor, it's like game. Cleared level 0, cleared level 1, level 2, level 3. So in this, assumptions is the next floor. In that assumption you said because they don't have good interviewing skills. And next floor is solution, correct? Now in this solution, what are we doing is, if all of you know that they are not clearing because of interviews, what companies will you come up with now? All of you know that different answers, tell me. Come on, I think you'll lose your confidence with me. Mock interview preparation, courses, you can build digital platforms, you can do offline courses, you can do weekend workshops for interviews, or you can connect them with mentors. Can you see how many companies are coming with one because? And this is why I was telling you that all of you can build different companies for the same because. That is because you think that this is the way to go, right? And now let's go back and take a step. Let's say this because did not work out. Everyone is clearing, doing good interviews, but there is some other problem. Okay? So they're clearing the technical round, but they're missing out something else. 10 minutes. And yeah, if they want to listen more, I'm happy, but yeah, I'll keep it for lunch. So I just want to cover these things because I can't leave the building in between. So primarily, the thing is, ikkada, let's say this is not the reason. Interviews is not the reason. Then what do you think we should do now? If your because fails, it is like pillars of that building. If pillars don't exist, what will happen? Your entire building will crash. Because you're saying that my friend didn't come because he had this exam, but you realize that person didn't have an exam in first place. Then your whole thing has changed, right? Whole world has changed. And this is where if because is not correct. What should you do next? See, it's building, right? Either you go up or you go down. If you can't go up, where should you go? Down, that's it. That's the answer. All of you know the answers. So you have to go down. That means that I'm going back and again seeing whether my problem statement or my assumptions are correct. If not, because of this assumption, can I go to other assumption? Or if not that assumption, other assumption. Getting it now? But if your assumptions itself are not working out when you're testing it, then problems. Even if problems are not working, customer. Now you're getting it now? So I'll give you a simpler example. Maybe this looks complicated. You're going from Hyderabad to Delhi. There are 4 roads. So you're going 10 kilometers in each road and seeing whether I'm going on the right path. And after you go 10 kilometers, you realize that that road is good. What do? You move further, another 10 kilometers. You realize that road is bad. You come back and you go in the second road. Then you go in the third road. When you do this exercise, eventually you'll reach Delhi, right? Because every 10 kilometers you're checking and saying, am I clearing this floor and moving forward. That's what lean startup methodology is all about, right? Now that is where the solution comes into place. Now from the solution, you have product, MVPs, there's a subject around pricing testing, then channel testing. So alala intente, if you saw, solution came in almost the 4th floor or 3rd floor for us. Can you see now why I don't care about ideas? Because if you told student having unable to find a job because of interview skills and see the solutions you came up with, each of you gave a different solution. But if you did the other way around, you would have been struggling to go through these roads and figure out the thing. Now do you understand how to solve problems in a very beautiful way? This is what is the topic. So if you do these first 4 floors, it will go back to what he was telling on knowing what to build. Not even building the building, what to build. Till that 4th floor is the knowledge you got today to know what to build. Once you know all this, you exactly know that there is a customer, there is a problem, this is an assumption under which people really care about it, and I do a test and I realize it, and I know that is true. And then my solution again will do testing. So in lean startup methodology, it will never be one customer, one problem. We do C1, C2, C3, P1, P2, P3, assumptions, list solutions, we keep experimenting and doing it, but it's a much longer topic and a different subject altogether. If anybody is really interested, we can always get in touch, or if somebody wants to build, we're happy to help with founders first. We do programs in all the structured way, teaching, execution and all that stuff. But I hope today you learned all these things. Let's just repeat these 4 floors for our memory, because the teacher in me always makes sure that you guys learn it. So what is the ground floor? -1 floor. -1 floor. Founder market fit. If somebody doesn't do it, again you have to sit in the session. Founder market fit. What is the next floor? Ground floor. Target customer, and use this word called customer segment. Segment, because every student is not your customer. A segment of it is your customer. Ardhamainda? That will help you always remember that I have to break it down and I should not target everyone.
Sorry, can you repeat from -1 floor?
-1 is product market fit.
-1 is
Product market fit. First one is, ground floor is customer segment. Yeah. After customer segment, what is the next one? I think you need lunch. Next is, think like this, common sense, right? First, నా గురించి ఏంటి అంటే నేను ఎగ్జామ్ క్లియర్ చేయగలుగుతానా లేదా, దాని తర్వాత అసలు ఎవరికి సాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నాను, దాని తర్వాత ఏంటి, వాళ్ళకి ఏం ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది లైఫ్లో, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. ఆఫ్టర్ దాట్ వాట్ కమ్స్ నెక్స్ట్, అసలు వాళ్ళకి ఎందుకు ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, అజంప్షన్స్. నేను అనుకున్న రీజనేనా ఇంకేదైనా రీజనా, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ అజంప్షన్స్ కమ్. When I know all these answers, I know who has a problem, what problem they have, ఎందుకు ఆ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, then ఏమొస్తాయి, solutions వస్తాయి. And that is where your solutions will become. Now, does it look logical like a manual now? So this is a trailer, and this is unfortunately most uncommon knowledge that you'll not get it that easily. But once you start applying it, you start realizing that before you build stuff, it is so easy to go through this journey and understand these. And then most of them that we work with, less than 30 to 90 days, spending less than 10-20,000 rupees, they test their ideas and get to know whether it works or not. Most of them don't even build a product, because building product is a luxury. Ee floor lonni create cheste appudu product varaku veldam. So most of you will never clear these floors, and even doing all this will help you build your clarity on what to build. Once you have that, your success rate automatically gets better. That is what it is. So now let's take questions and answers like I promised. 12:59. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take it. If all of you are ultra clear, then I'll take your leave for today. Yes.
face the problem that how do I price my product?
Yes.
Created something. If people say that go 10x,
I'll get it. Fair enough. I'll answer that question. So he's asking that question of how do you price your product? Okay. So what we do is, if you don't know, like let's say you're selling mangoes and you don't know what is the price of the mango, what do you do? Correct. First step is competitors. No, we'll talk about all the scenarios. I tell it to all the cases. One is competitors, but he is telling a very fair point that my mango is so unique that there's no other mango worldwide. We'll look at how much are they, what is the cost of producing that mango. Fair enough. That is called cost-based pricing. Second type of pricing is called value-based pricing. Value-based pricing ఏంటి, కోవిడ్ అప్పుడు మీరు మాస్క్స్ ఎంతైనా పెట్టుకుంటుండే కదా, మీరు కాస్ట్ చూసుకున్నారా, లేదు కదా. దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ value-based pricing. Where is a good example of value-based pricing? All your medicines, healthcare. ఆ టాబ్లెట్ 10 రూపాయలు ఉంటుంది, 250 రూపీస్ అమ్ముతుంటారు. That is called value-based pricing. అంటే that means for them it is worth 250 rupees. Otherwise, I'll not get well, I'll be sick. Getting it now? So that is how you do. But answering more clearly, now this is clear, right? Answering one level deeper, what you need to do is, imagine you still don't know the best price for mango, what can you do? You can put some price, right? Say 70 rupees, 1000, 100 rupees, whatever. And then what can you do next? People are buying for 100 rupees. What can you do next? Yeah, then put 110 rupees. Next, exactly. See, next put 100, 110, 120, 150, 500 rupees ki they're still buying. That means you can still go up. Can you see how this is? So there is no right or wrong answer for pricing. Like this value-based and cost-based is one, but most of us do pricing experimentation. So we keep testing different pricing, and we see until some customer complains or gets frustrated, we keep increasing the price. That's how we do pricing. Okay? Somebody had a question there. Yeah.
So this is all good. So till the solution, the problem lies in how do you make that scalable solution or is it a one-rate solution? And
Okay.
sales is the key part in India.
Correct. No, fair enough. So what he's asking about beyond the fourth floor, right? So once you do the sales part, then we figure out the pricing. That's the fifth floor. Then we figure out the channel, which is the sixth floor. And should I sell it in social media? Should I go door to door and sell? Those are called channels. And in the limited time we have, like I didn't want to cover all that. అక్కడ ఏంటంటే రిపీటబిలిటీ అనే టాపిక్ వస్తుంది అవినాష్. రిపీటబిలిటీలో ఏం చేస్తామంటే we do channel experimentation. So even between social media, going door to door or selling through a vendor, which one should I pick? Akkada there's an experimentation topic that comes. That's where repeatability. But a lot of founders who are making some revenue but they are stuck, when they come to us, that's what we do. We go back and again see the ground floor, first floor and all and see if it is good or bad. Because if your ground floor, fifth floor is not good, then what is the point of building your 10th floor? So Allah, we fix these things and then we accelerate faster on the upper floors. Or if their upper floors are good, they have some team problems or XYZ, we fix that and we help them do that stuff. Helping. And it's a very generic answer, I know, but depending on the use case, I can give a better answer. At your validation stage, none of you have to leave your college, none of you have to leave your job, none of you have to do it even full time. Even if you spend 5 hours a day, you can actually validate your ideas. The thing is, only when something is validated at a level, you have to leave your job or do full time only when you're seeing some revenue in the company. టీమ్ కూడా ఎప్పుడు అవసరం అంటే మీరు ఏం బిల్డ్ చేస్తున్నారో తెలిస్తే టీం హైర్ చేయండి, లేకుంటే టీం పెట్టి కూర్చోబెట్టి రోజు కొత్త పని చేయించాలంటే మీకు కూడా కష్టమే. సో మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ యూ unnecessarily hire too much. Don't hire. Hire when you have a clear JD. That's a good way, I'll tell you. If you have a proper JD that you can write and that is really something that people will do full time, then only hire. Otherwise take help part time, take help freelance, do everything in your life not to hire people, because you are going to fire them also very soon. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please tell me.
Till now everything is good. So when we are going as a founder, like at a founder level, when we have micro effects we can solve, like every level. What if business or founder impact is the macro level, which we cannot decide?
Fair enough. I think he brought a very good point. This malli meer -1 floor lo chudochu. There is something called market trends. If Krishna Priya is building stuff around creators, means there was a boom in creators. But if boom in creators goes down, government comes with regulations saying that every creator has to follow some things, then her system will crash. And this is where most of the founders always bet 5 years ahead. So మీరు అందరూ ఏంటంటే you can do one small exercise. You can go to ChatGPT and just write one simple thing where you say what is the trends for this for the next 5 years and what are the risks for the next 5 years. Just write these 2 statements down and see. Based on that, you are taking a calculated risk. Anything else that happens in the market is going to be a pivoting and iterating, which is like you are going on a road, suddenly you found a tree that fell down in between. So you have to make a pivot. That is what again a founder's job is, to pivot. There will never be a consistent thing in founder's life. Yeah. Okay. Done? Any last questions? Sorted? Okay. So thank you so much for being nice audience. And I hope all of you guys learned something. Please apply. Don't just clap. I want to see you guys build startups, or at least go try, because like when they're talking about jobs and all, I really wanted to tell you one thing. The thing is, as you go along, even in our company, we are struggling to hire more and more people, because even if I want to hire, I don't have the need to hire. So AI is actually going to be one part of these things. So always look for ways in which you can actually work with startups, try out startups, because if you know these things, people really want to learn or pick people who actually have the skills to solve problems. Okay? So having said that, don't worry about having your idea. Go work with any startup, shadow startups, go work for free, do whatever, gain experience, and don't worry that you have to build a startup. When the time comes, you'll build a startup. First learn how to build a startup, because building a startup is like learning how to solve problems. And when you learn how to solve problems, you can solve it anywhere in the world. You can do it in Deloitte, you can do it in Google, you can do it anywhere, but learn how to solve problems. That's the reason why we struggle to hire people who are freshers. Okay? Thank you so much, and yeah, good luck for all of you. Thank you. Oh. మా ఇంట్లో నేను చెట్లు
Thanks for the session and everything.
Thank you.
Just one more fact. When I started my journey, I reached out to a couple of folks. Praveen was one of the folks that I reached out to me. Reached out to him and was really helpful what he has said. And I'm afraid, that's one thing that again they himself is like they will say, okay, use the right feedback for the student for maybe the start, but we need someone to do that, and actually he does that. So yeah, whatever he said, ideation, you need to follow the process you need to follow, and that will really be helpful to it. Thanks for that, and I think we'll see good people who follow that and come on.
Give me one. So actually 1 year ago, Hitesh actually followed this process himself. He was one of our Founders First program member. He followed and he also had some learnings, and that's where now he's talking about that. So we're all not talking random stuff, so please go apply. That's all he's trying to tell you.
Now then second jumping into right sector, particular right, the person does not go again. Thanks again. So I had one more idea that I was trying to do it. Initially, I think for 2-3 hours we spoke, we spoke, talking like about this idea, the parking, the sweat, crazy, that thing, but we had really good chat about that. So yeah, that's really helpful.
Thank you.
And yeah, coming back to this, thanks for the time and everything. As in, gift from outside, look at the whole shot, go look at time, eco-friendly.
Thank you so much. Thanks for Thank you.
So now what we do is that these are good has said that they deliver, and they actually given us couple of reels for this, which is being one of them. We'll show
It's a good one. We are not there in this race, that's fine. But yeah, it was a good. The outcome has really come great, and yeah, this is one of the reels. We got a couple of more, and we're definitely sure we'll get more reels from them. So yeah, thanks for that. And we'll break out for lunch. Lunch is in the cafeteria, like straight from the left restrooms. We'll come back by 1:40, 1:45, and we have like interesting things going lines up. Like we have one more panel, we have some talks, as well as we have some goodies to be given to the audience. So yeah, so fine. And one more thing that you guys can do is you can see a chart in the backside that is called as idea wall. So if guys want you to go write something about your idea, if you're working, you have something, or maybe you think we could do something. It could be like sending rockets in spaces, right? Anything it could be. Elon Musk. Think about anything. Write it over there. I heard this someone said when I was asking this in one of the events, right? Like, hey, I want to create something like a house, a flying house, which could go across. Like, I want to move to city. I can take my house and go. Like, why can't you build it? Try it out. Build it. Again, that's something that you try it out. You will either fail or you'll do something. So yeah, please go ahead and write your ideas and implement the strategies and framework Praveen has said. And yeah, and I would like to invite Praveen, Krishna Priya, Abhinav, Satya to on the stage. We'll take a small photo. We missed last time, so we'll take a small photo over there. Guys, thanks. So Reels on Go team, we need video as well as we need photos. We need both. Yeah. Come, Hansika, Jashwant, please look out. You guys are the star, so you guys should be ready.
Yeah. Videos also done. All good. Okay. Thanks guys. And like I said, your idea was we want your ideas to be there, and also let's break out for the lunch. It's left over there, and let's be back by 1:40. Okay. Good.